like butter, onions, mushrooms, and beef stock. But that's like essentially gravy. Onions and beef stock is gravy.
Okay.
But you add sour cream to it, and it's got a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in it.
Cool.
But
Damn, sounds good, dude.
Worcestershire.
All right. So, did somebody just join the stream, or what noise was that?
What noise was
it doesn't look
I don't
super
know,
appetizing, but those.
I don't know. I heard a beep like somebody joined the Discord, but then I don't see anybody new. Anyhow, yeah. So let's take this time to explain what I'm even here for today, because like you guys said, like who is this guy? So, Dylan and I were talking, and I realized that it was always my intention to kind of like shadow some practices, like watch Dylan's practices more often, or just participate in some way, shape, or form occasionally. And I wasn't hardly able to do that before because I used to actually coach Team Flow. Sometimes we'd have practice at the same time, and then I was also just exhausted from doing that and working and stuff. And then since I stepped down from Flow, which I think all of you guys know about, I've had some free time, and I remembered like, oh, I should do that. So I'm just here doing drill with you guys. So today's practice might be a little bit different than what you guys have done before, but it should be interactive and fun. I have a bit of a slideshow here, but I do not make my slideshows longer than like 10 minutes if I can manage it. So I don't like long lectures either. So this shouldn't be too boring or anything. And then we're going to jump into a custom game lobby with each other and try some things out from what we learned. And then we'll debrief after that. So all in all, it should take an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. And today we're going to talk about wave management a bit. I think wave management is something that, by no means do I make the claim that I'm a good League of Legends player, especially now. I'm just like super rusty. I was never that good to begin with. But I still think that I would be right to say that most people don't understand wave management. Even at my peak rank of like Platinum 2 or something, I think people just mindlessly kind of manage their waves like haphazardly and without much deliberation. And I think so wave management, I think you don't get much of a challenge in terms of wave management when you go into solo queue because people aren't punishing you for poor wave management. And I think that it's something that everybody can improve on, and even the pros seem to struggle with. LS talks about that a lot, and I think he's perfectly right about that. So I think wave management is one of the most important building blocks of what it means to be good at League, and it's one of the most misunderstood. So if you can master the skill of wave management, which has nothing to do with how quickly you can micro or what your reaction time is like or anything like that, it's purely based on laws of physics, then you can experience a tremendous boon to your gameplay. So let's just get into it then. And if people are coming in like that, then that's fine. So, what happens if an equal number of minions meets in the center of the map? This is like a super basic question. It's not a trick question, but I'm just setting up some ground rules. So yeah, if 6 minions from both sides meet right in the middle of the lane, is it going to push? Is it going to freeze? Like, what's going to happen? Assuming that champions are not interfering with it.
It's gonna stay in the middle.
Yes. Perfectly reasonable, right? It's going to stay right in the middle. In reality, there's a little bit of RNG that the aggro of the minions can glitch out, and one side can push a little bit. So if you ever load up in the practice tool, that can happen sometimes. But all things being equal, and without some ridiculous RNG happening, it's obviously going to stay right in the middle, unless a champion attacks it. And so that's where we're starting. But I want to talk about something called the even minion rule. Now, some of you guys might have heard of this before, so bear with me, but it's good to just go over it. So what happens if an equal number of minions meets past the center of the map? So if we go back to this slide here, and we put these blue minions on the red side of the map. So instead of meeting here, they meet somewhere here. but there's 6 minions on both sides, what's going to happen with that wave? Is it going to push? Is it going to pull? Is it going to freeze to any particular side of the lane? What's going to happen?
Pushes to blue side.
It's going to push to blue side?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it meets over here, it's going to push over here. Okay. Anybody dissent?
If you're saying that the minion wave is on the closer towards the red tower and it's an even number of minions, it's going to push to blue side.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what you said or not. That's what.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
So, you guys would be right, and the reason that is because there's a certain amount of travel time that minions have to take to get to their lane and fight in the battle, right? So it takes 20 seconds or 26 seconds for minions to go from their base to their own tower, just to get right here. And it takes another 8 seconds for those same minions to walk to the center of the lane, if nothing is stopping them. So that's a total of 34 seconds of travel time to get to the center of lane. That means that it takes 16 seconds for a minion to walk from one tower to the other tower.
Huh.
And because it takes 16 seconds for a minion to get from one tower to another, then it's going to take some amount of time for a reinforcing wave to meet a battle line. And so if we go back to this one, it makes sense that the minions stay where they are because both reinforcements arrive at the battle at the same time. And neither side has any particular advantage, so neither side will push. But if the blue minions are trying to reinforce and the red minions are closer to their own tower, their reinforcements are going to arrive to the battle within 2 seconds of getting to the tower, where it's going to take the blue minions 12 seconds longer to get to the battle. And in that 12-second discrepancy, you've got 12 red minions attacking 6 blue minions, so they're going to win. They're going to deal more damage. They're going to beat up some of the blue minions. There's going to be like 2 left. And then the other 6 are going to come, and then they're going to kill those 2. So red minions are going to push slowly over time in this sort of scenario. Does everybody see that? Does anybody have questions about how that works? I'm kind of blowing through this, so if you're lost, like, now's the time to stop me. Okay.
Good.
So this is what it will look like. You're going to push a little bit. You're not obviously going to push straight into the enemy's tower, right? There's going to be continual reinforcements, and it takes time for minions to deal damage to each other. So there's going to be about 3 stops before the red wave gets all the way to the blue tower and crashes into it. And when it crashes into it, then interesting things can happen, which we're not going to cover today. But for the point of this is the even minion rule. The important thing to understand is that if there are an equal number of minions meeting past the center of the lane, it will push towards the opposite side. So, in words, an equal number of minions meeting past the center of the lane will push slowly towards the opposite side of the lane. Perfectly reasonable. It's going to happen in every single game. It's vital to understand this before you can even begin to manage your own waves in your game. So, now the question is, what happens when the wave is not equal? And what do I got on here? Okay, yeah, so... Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, hopefully I didn't spoil it, but if you have more red minions than blue minions, and they're meeting on the side of the lane closer to the red tower, what are the red minions going to do? If it sounds really easy, it's not a trick question.
They're going to push the blue side.
Yeah, obviously, right? So this is like obviously going to be the case. The more red surplus on the red side of the lane there are, the more quickly they're going to push, right? They're going to deal with these minions more quickly. That's going to give the blue minions less time to reinforce. So they're only going to stop maybe one time, and then they're just going to push on. Now that's like obvious. It's self-evident. So then the question becomes, what if there are a surplus of blue minions meeting on the red side of the lane? This will mean that they push less slowly. Does everybody see why that's the case? That doesn't confuse anybody so far, right?
No.
Yeah. So if I have 3 red minions fighting 4 blue minions, and they're on the red side of the lane, the blue minions are going to stem this red push a little bit. They're going to push more slowly than they did before. But what if we add even more blue minions? What's the argument if we add like 5 blue minions or 6 or 7 or 10? Like, what's eventually going to happen?
Crash.
It's gonna push to the red.
Yeah, it's going to push to the red side, right? It's gonna crash into the red tower eventually. If I add 20 blue minions that attack 3, then they're gonna like push through by brute force. So what's important to understand about this is that somewhere in between having 3 blue minions and 20 blue minions, there's a point at which this wave will freeze. And this is what we call the uneven minion roll. So if we think of this in the purest simple form, right? Newtonian physics says that if you have a force of 5 newtons pushing against a force of 10 newtons, there's going to be a net force of 5 newtons in the direction of the force that's stronger, right? That makes perfect sense. That's exactly what happens with minion waves. So if we increase the blue minions to a certain amount, then it freezes. So in a battle line of minions meeting past the center of the lane, a given number of surplus minions, that is a fixed number, will cause the wave to freeze. So we have to figure out what that fixed number is. So it depends on what part of the lane that you're talking about, right? So if you have blue minions pushed a little bit towards the red side of the lane, it's going to take less blue surplus to start pushing. Versus if you have them right on the edge of the range of the enemy tower, it's going to require you to have more blue minions to keep up that push. So this chart here, what you're looking at, describes the amount of surplus minions that you would need at any given point of the map to freeze it. So if I have 4 blue minions here fighting 3 red minions, this is going to freeze. If I've got 6 blue minions versus 4 red minions here, it's going to freeze. So you guys, everybody getting that so far?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they're meeting in the center of the map, it's going to be 0.
Hours, 11 to 7.
So, I'm going to give you guys some examples real quick. Is this wave here that we're looking at going to push to blue side, push towards red side, or freeze right there? What do you guys think?
Suddenly I'm tired.
If there's no champions in a lane, it's gonna push to red.
Okay, so Hammy says it's going to push towards red. Does anybody disagree with that?
Nope.
Does anybody have no idea?
What am I looking at?
Just kidding, I counted
It freezes, no?
Yeah, I counted wrong.
Okay, so Hammy, so Chris is saying it freezes.
And
Kev, is that your answer too?
I know, I counted, so it's freezes.
Yeah, 9-6. Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. So if you count these minions, you've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so, by the way, sorry for the minion models. Like there's like no other alternative I can use. So if I could use the actual minions, then I would, but you can't. So anyhow, yeah, there's 9 minions over here and 6 minions over here, and they're meeting roughly in the area where the red zone would be. So if we go back to this, they're meeting in what looks like the area between 2 and 3. So they're going to freeze here. And if they're closer to 2, they might push a little bit over time, but it would take so long that it's really easy to manage.
So, when a wave is in a certain spot, how long does it have to be sitting there for it to be considered a freeze? But what's the difference between like it's slowly pushing towards the other side or
The
being
jungler
a
would
freeze?
ask that question.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to learn, dude.
Yeah, no, Danny, you're fine. So, there's no stupid questions about this. So, a freeze basically just means that if you were to leave the minions alone indefinitely, they would just stay there forever. Now,
Okay.
so to answer your question a little bit more advanced, like sometimes the wave can stay in the same place for a while, but it might start slow pushing. based on what the champions are doing to the wave. So what you're gonna notice in almost every single game below, like, God knows what elo, because I never reached the elo where this became not true, and I went to Platinum 2. So, based on at least up until Plat 2 elo, people are going to have their waves continue to slow push, right? So they're going to have this, like, wave set up here, and it's going to be set to freeze indefinitely, sans champion interference or really bizarre RNG. But the red champions are going to deal enough damage to these blue minions where they're going to, like, break the freeze. So eventually the buildup of red minions is going to make this, like, it's going to lower the surplus of blue minions to the point where it starts slow pushing. So that's actually a good question. So when you guys use C-pop, when you guys are communicating in-game, this is what you guys should be talking about, right? Because sometimes your wave is going to be frozen for a second, but then it's going to be set to slow push. Even the best players sometimes can't help but for their wave that's frozen to start slow pushing, right? It gets really, really delicate at a high level. So if you listen to the comms of, like, high level teams and scrims, it's just a bunch of laners saying, like, oh, my wave is, like, beginning to slow push. You can gank for, like, 30 seconds. So they're going to let you know, like, the windows of time. And that's kind of your laner's responsibility to find out. As a jungler, like, it's your job to just understand what the waves are doing and how that's going to affect your, like, pathing and your ganking. But it's up to the laners to actually set the wave up and give you proper information.
Okay.
So, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Drake, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my name, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I actually haven't called you by your real name. Numbers are different for mid lane, though, right? Because the lane is
Oh,
similar.
yeah, actually, yes, that's a good point. So, you know what? Let me draw that for you.
I think I got the hang of that, kind of, but, like, just want to make sure so I don't memorize these numbers. Be all like, wait, this ain't right. Also,
Yeah, no worries.
Whenever I try to control the wave in mid lane, since the wave is so small, you don't need to draw for me. I think I got it.
No, it's
like,
okay. I'm gonna
that's
draw it
it.
at least for everybody else. It's, like, important for Daniel to understand, too.
Like, I find that the minions actually do different amount of damage. The highest discrepancy
Really?
is between melee and cannon, right? Like, the damage is different. Especially with cannon, like, those cannon minions really destroy whatever I'm trying to set up. Like,
Yeah,
what do I
okay.
do? Do I just clear it instantly, or should I leave it
Yeah.
out enough? Like, what the fuck do I do?
Well, actually, the drill today should help you answer that question. But cannon minions do affect this a little bit, and I can talk about that. But the same principles still apply. So for anybody who is interested, including you and Daniel, this is what it looks like for mid lane. So you're going to have 1+ here and here, then you're going to have 2+. So you need to have, if you're the, like, blue champion, right? You're a Kali,
Yeah.
and you've got your wave somewhere in this, like, zone, then you're gonna have to make sure that the red minions have a surplus of 2 in order for this to freeze. Now, you're right, mid-wave wave management is more delicate. So then you're asking, like, what happens if a cannon gets into the mix? And that's actually a good question because I didn't plan to talk about that, and I should have mentioned it. So,
yeah.
actually, I think I have a picture somewhere.
Oh wait, before you go on, there's no 3+ for mid lane, right?
No, it's too short.
Too short. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. Yeah.
So this is an ancient picture, so bear with that. But in top lane, or in the side lanes rather, it's the same in the first 2 zones, right? You just need 1 creep or 2 extra creeps. But then on the edge, it's okay to just have a cannon minion. And a cannon minion, you can always think of a cannon minion as 2 minions. If you want to, like, for the purposes of this, you can think of a cannon minion as 2 minions.
And if or melee.
Or sorry, a cannon minion.
Oh no, like.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So melee minions have twice as many hit points, but deal half as much damage.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it like balances out between those.
So in this just a quick question. So in this photo, it says like the 4+ creep lead. From here on, is that assuming that the tower's missing and this is like mid game?
Yes.
Or... Okay.
So that's
Alright.
mid game, and I didn't talk about mid game today because that's a little bit more advanced and out of the scope of this, like what I was planning to do today.
Okay.
But it's actually, I think that's another thing that teams really struggle with. So like people struggle with wave management in the laning phase without a doubt. I think even if they know this stuff, they tend not to respect it or use it or know what to do with it. But in the mid game or late game when towers are down, people could become completely reliant on just like ping-ponging the lanes to each other. They're like, oh, I have to get prio and then go mid lane. And like, we call it NA ramp because it's like such a meme, right? So we can talk about that some other time. Maybe like Dylan can go over that with you or something. But that's a good question. So anyhow, just to answer your question, a cannon minion you can think of as 2 minions. So if you're mid lane and the enemy has a surplus of a cannon minion here, that's sufficient. But when in doubt, just create the biggest surplus possible for your opponent, because you can always thin it down. Like it's generally easier to thin down a wave than it is to create more red minions for them, right? So if you fuck up, like you can just like tank the minion wave for a second and then your minions will come and like you can like unfuck it a little bit that way, but you can't unfuck it if your wave starts slow pushing. Do you know what I mean?
Like okay.
Tank minions. I'm saying like, okay, so let's say let me give you the scenario,
Oh no,
right?
like, I understand the concept, but like as a mid lane, do I really want to take minions? Like top laners,
Well,
yeah.
right? Like Nasus
So-
has his lifesteal, Poppy has her shield or whatnot. Mid lane mages, not really, right?
Well, I would err on the side of saying like yes you should, but it depends. So like if you have 9 minions there and you're already not at 100% health and you have like your Twisted Fate and you have no regen, then like maybe you shouldn't tank the minions. Like basically you want to get to the point where you don't have to rely on tanking minions in the first place. Like that would be the ideal, right? Like you don't want to like fuck up your shit all the time and like tank minions for no reason. So I think that like if you watch pros play, like they will do that though. Like they will go and as like Syndra, they'll like tank minions and like make sure that their wave is like unfuckable with. Yeah. Sorry for saying that over and over again, but that's just the best word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So
on the topic
Yeah.
of tanking minions, just really quickly as well. I know you can kind of drag the minions. You can aggro them and then drag them to the side
Yeah.
to like jungle. Is that a viable strat to stall the wave, or is that
Yeah,
just
100%.
It is actually okay.
Yeah,
it does
so-
help. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you watch streamers, and what I've noticed about like Yasuo and like streamers like that is they fucking hate getting lane locked. So that's called lane locking, right? Where you have a group of minions
Uh-huh.
coming towards you,
Mhm.
and then you like go over here.
Yeah.
And you just like play with them, right? And then they're gonna like de-aggro you, and then they're gonna re-aggro you, and you just like keep going off. And then sometimes like you could actually get the minions to like follow you all the way here.
Cool.
And then you just like the enemy has a surplus of 4 minions and you're just gonna like control it there forever, and then the opponent is like frozen out of the lane and they're gonna get ganked by your jungler or something. So yeah, that's like a really annoying strat, and if you can do that in your games, like you're destined to like climb, if you ask me. Like you don't see people do that often.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing around with it, but I wasn't sure if it was actually like a thing or not, or if I was just being
Yeah.
stupid. Okay.
No,
Nah, it
that's
is.
perfectly viable. So in fact, at the beginning, so what you'll also see, and I'm kind of spoiling the drill a little bit, but what you'll also see is like, let's say, you know, you've got your bot laners, and
Broken
so
lane.
normally you leash, right? Normally you go with the jungler and leash the. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that there was a bug.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I have a roach infestation, but we're good. So, sometimes you see the, you know, players take the buff and it takes like around 10 or 15 seconds for them to fully leash. But if you go into lane right at the beginning, like, if you see them do this in silver, they're gonna do this, right? Like, this is what your teammates do in, like, even, like, platinum, I bet, is, like,
Hard
they'll
push.
go in the lane and then, well, they won't even do anything, right? They'll just, like, sit there and be visible. And you never want to do that, because then you're just, like, showing your opponent, like, oh, their jungler's starting topside. and your wave isn't gonna get fucked up at all. Like, so then the opposite is like, yeah, maybe they hard push. Now, what you could do, right? What's pretty smart, if you're a Mumu and you're like, I want the wave to freeze on my side of the lane for the rest of this game, then you can do exactly what we talked about earlier. You can tank the wave as it comes in, and then you can lane lock it. You can jump in this bush and de-aggro, aggro, de-aggro, de-aggro, and then the wave is going to be here, and it's going to be even. And what does that mean?
It's gonna slowly push back. Oh
That's right.
my god, wait, that's actually brilliant.
You're right, it is, it is. Yeah, exactly.
Too, right?
I've seen people do that before, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and you can, so the other thing that you can do too, like if you don't want to tank the wave, or like you're not sure if they're there too or whatever, then you can also just push it a little bit. So I also didn't plan to talk about this today, but let's say you're this wave, and let's just pretend these are 6 minions here. You can kill the enemy caster minions like on cooldown. You just auto them on cooldown until they all die, but you leave the melee minions alone. So you just last hit the melees, and then you kill their casters. And that's going to allow your wave to slow push, so by the time your opponent gets into the lane, you're going to have like a small surplus of minions, and then it's going to meet over there, but it's not going to be enough for them to lock you in, right? So then they're gonna have these minions, and then it's gonna slow push towards you. So that's another way of making it slow push towards you.
Wait. Oh, okay. Got it. Wait, couldn't the enemy support or the red side support? I guess it's red side support, left side, whatever. Just like tank the minion wave to
Well,
reset it.
yeah. So this is dangerous.
It seems
You
like really
want-
high risk, yeah.
Yes, it's high risk. You have to like really know what you're doing. So I would recommend, if you're trying to do this, like just have one minion. Like if you only have one minion here, it's gonna stop. It's even just gonna stop. Like the idea of it is this, right? The idea of it is that you have such a small surplus of minions that by the time it actually gets over here, like this whole wave is gonna come, right? And then they're gonna kill these. They're gonna kill them before these minions come. So then your minions are gonna be here, and it's gonna be 6 versus 6 on their side of the lane. Now the blue minions might have a little bit of a health disadvantage, but it's not gonna be enough for them to like freeze it.
Because there's a number advantage.
Yeah, so like these guys might have like 95 or like 90% health or something,
But
versus
the double
yours,
minions.
which
Yeah.
are 100% health. Is everybody following along with this? With what Kyle and I are talking about?
Yeah.
Jake, are you gonna talk about cheater recalls? Just curious.
Cheater.
Isn't a cheater recall just like when you have like a corrupting pod and you just stay in lane forever, or like that's what I've heard from LS? Or what do you mean by a cheater recall?
No, so LS talks about like slow pushing the second wave and then crashing the cannon one so you get a free base, and like it's usually done on corrupting pod champs because you get like a Doran's ring or a blade for free.
Okay, yeah. I think I actually I'm not sure if I could do justice to whatever is called a cheater recall, but recall timings are important to integrate with your wave management. So what I would say is the general premise that most people think of when they want to back is I have to push. Like let me crash the wave, because it's like it's lazy. It's like it's a viable way to do it, but sometimes you don't. Like, so I think most of the time this is what happens in like silver and gold, right? You have a champion, okay, you take some shitty trades and your health is low and you want to like recall, so your idea is like, I'm gonna push this as hard as I can until it like crashes, and then I'm gonna back. So then what that actually means is like by the time you get up here with your wave and you're like about to try to crash it, this fucker comes and you're at like negative health because you've been like trading this whole time and getting fucked up, and then you die. I think that's like where at least half of ganks like happen. Yeah, aren't you triggered by that? Like when you like, aren't you fucking triggered as hell? Like, yeah, this is why like people end, actually. This is really why it is, right? They trade shittily, and then they have to push, and then but what you can do instead, I don't know if this is what LS calls a cheater recall or not, but what you can do instead is you can just leave the wave frozen, right? So the better idea is like, I have 6 minions, my enemy has a surplus viable for it to freeze, I'm just gonna back, right? Now you might not be able to do that if the enemy is still there and like they're gonna actively push and crash, because then you don't want to lose a big minion wave. But if you suspect that like they're taking dragon, or for whatever reason you have confirmation that they're not there, don't push the lane to back, because what also can happen, like you don't have to just die to a jungle gank or whatever. Like it's gonna take you some time. Like it's gonna take you 60 seconds or 45 seconds or something to actually get this wave right here to the enemy tower. And in that span of time, guess who's gonna come back to lane? This bitch is gonna be here again. She's gonna clear your minions out. She's not gonna lose any experience, and then she's here, and by the time the next minion wave is in the middle, you're not there yet. You're 20 seconds away because you're still waiting for 15 gold in the bank or whatever, and she's gonna push it, and you're gonna lose minions and a tower play, and they're gonna take dragon because they have prio, and you're not on the map. So that's what you see all the time. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so sorry, I kind of cut you off there a bit, but like, you're saying like we should kind of just try to freeze it somewhere nearer to our side, but not in the middle, right? But isn't that a bit risky? Like if the enemy laner, like let's say you took a trade, both you were low, forced the back, but the enemy laner has like a TP advantage or something, or like they call their jungler to come and push it and crash it, then reset. Now it's slow pushing back to them. You're fucked, right? Wouldn't it be better if you just reset the wave to normal, to middle? Thus.
So if it's in the middle, like that's fine. But the problem with that is, like I said, it kind of depends, right? So like there's going to be all kinds of like things that you have to take into account. Like if they have TP, or like if they call their jungler. Now if they call their jungler to clear the wave for them, that's a viable thing to do, and you'll see that a lot in high level play. In your solo queue games, you're almost destined to never see that for sure. But yeah, in like high level games or like in these scrims, like that can happen. But at least you'll know where their jungler is, and like you as a laner, you at the very, very least, right? If that happens to you, it's your responsibility to communicate it. Like that's what we have CPOP for, right? Like it's your job to be like, hey, their jungler might be around and he could clear my wave, or like, okay, they could slow push towards me or whatever. Like that's always what the laner is responsible for communicating to the stream. And that means that Daniel was coming out of base and he was going to go take his bot side, but now he's like, oh, okay, you're like, wave is going to slow push into you or whatever, and like, okay, yeah, whatever, that's fine, you'll lose some waves, but I'm going to take Rift Herald.
What champ
like,
is that? Sorry.
That's Tibbers.
Tibbers.
I'm just throwing random shit on here because
no, I don't recognize that. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so like the rest of your team can help like pick up the slack if you mess up, right? But yeah, to answer your question though, sorry, so I didn't actually answer your question. So isn't it safer to reset the wave? Like, yes, it's going to be safer to reset the wave in certain, like, yeah, like if there are definitely conditions where resetting the wave is perfectly fine. I didn't mean to make it sound like, oh, you should never reset the wave or never try to crash your wave. I'm just saying that when the opponent, especially when the opponent is known to be absent, and especially like if you're like losing trades or something, and you have the opportunity, you don't have to reset the wave. You don't have to make it crash. You can just allow it to freeze if you're smart enough with your surplus, right? So if it looks like that, if it looks like this, right? You're like, oh, I can just like, that's fine. I can like, Annie's like left or whatever, and then I'm at like 3 health, but like I'm just gonna back. Like I don't need to push this. Like I can risk dying to the jungler ganks, or even like a mid roam, or like even if I don't die or nothing bad happens, like by the time it takes me to clear this out, which is going to take at least 20 seconds, if not like 40, right? I'm gonna have to clear at least 1 minion wave, if not 2, probably 2. Then it's gonna take me 5 more seconds to walk back to this bush, and it's gonna take me another 8 seconds to finish my recall. And then it's gonna take me another 26, 25 seconds to get back to lane. That's like, that's a long time that you're letting your lane opponent walk back to lane, which she's gonna almost be like at lane. Like she's actually going to be at lane when you start this recall. And then she has free reign over the minion wave. And then she's gonna be able to push. She's gonna be able to take a plate. She's gonna be able to ward your jungle, which is gonna fuck your jungler up. She's gonna be able to take dragon. she's going to be able to set up a lane gank with her jungler for you when you come back to lane. She's going to be able to poke you like she was doing earlier because she has longer range than you or whatever, right? So like any number of terrible scenarios can come out of deciding to crash away when you don't need to.
Like, crashing away seems to waste a lot of time, but what if, just like, very risky, but could come up big, you crash the wave and execute yourself for home guard bonus?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I
Like,
mean,
that was the thing.
yeah, that's a thing sometimes. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, if you're big braining it that much, like you like, yeah, that's fine. Like you could do that, I guess.
That would go around the problem of crashing and recalling takes too long.
But
right?
it depends on what point of the game too. Like you got to do that really early on in the game because your death timer is going to be short and yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that's almost. I mean that's rarely going to apply. But you know, if you're thinking ahead like that, then yes. Like if you see an opportunity where it's just better to execute yourself, like that's perfectly fine. But that's not likely to happen if the wave is on your side. Like if the wave is in a position where you can freeze it, it's not likely that you're going to be able to push it and then execute yourself. Like that's like that would only apply if you're low and it's actually easier to like your death timer is so low that you're going to get back to base faster and your wave is already over here, you know, and then you just push it and then whatever. Yeah. So there's going to be limited circumstances where that's like viable.
I'm gonna derail it a bit more, sorry. But
Okay.
like, should we be keeping track of cannon waves? Like, I believe it's what, every third wave?
It's every third
Yeah.
wave.
And then reduces to every second after a certain amount of time.
Like, I think
20 minutes.
15. Is it 20? I thought it was 15.
I heard it. Was
But like, are cannon waves that much of a wild card that we should be keeping track of them, or is it just whatever?
I at this point I would say it's fine not to, but I mean. The short answer is yes, you should. But for now, like if you're just coming to terms with all this basic stuff here, like just pretend that cannon minions are worth 2 minions.
Okay.
So then when a cannon minion spawns, or like a cannon wave is, you can consider that 8 minions. And then, you know, go from there. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I'm stupid. Wait, yeah, when your cannon minion spawns, there's an enemy cannon minion. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, because they balance out, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. Wait, never mind.
Well, I mean, it's also good to learn what wave it is
Right.
too, because it's going to be a lot
Yes.
better of a back for you if it's a cannon
Right.
wave as opposed to a
Exactly.
regular wave. So that part's
Exactly.
another thing to learn too.
So if you're trying to set up a gank for your enemy jungler that you want to last longer, like if you want them to have a longer window to be able to gank you, or you want to recall better, or for whatever reason you're just like leaving your lane or something, then you can coordinate that on a cannon minion wave specifically. And I try to do that in my games, right? When I'm like playing with a team, I always try to tell my team like, hey, it's a cannon wave, like I'm gonna back now, or hey, we can take dragon, whatever it is.
Cannon spawning, right? Not cannon crashing.
Cannon, halfway
Yeah.
to lane.
Halfway to lane. Okay, good.
So as
Like
soon
a
as you,
certain-
so it's a nice
uh,
time to go back, like if you
specifically
clear.
right here. If you watch VODs of like players and they see like a cannon minion wave is spawning, the ideal time to back is when the cannon minion wave is passing your inhibitor there.
It's there for...
Then you channel your recall.
Side lanes or mid lane? It's only...
For mid lane. I'm talking about mid lane actually. Yeah, so side lanes, it's more like this second tower, I think. But I don't know for sure
So am I
about
wrong to back when the cannon minion is in the lane?
that.
Well, I mean, if you have teleport, it's not really an issue. But if you don't have
Yeah,
it, it's gonna
well-
it's probably gonna take you too long to get back to lane. It's gonna probably crash into your tower if the cannon's already in the middle of
Yeah.
the lane by the time you start trying to back.
It depends, Matt. So like, yeah, if the enemy is gonna be in lane before you, or they're already in lane, and there's a cannon minion there, like you would ideally not want to back. So like, you would only back in that scenario if you had to.
Okay.
But if the enemy laner is as absent as you are, and your wave is set to freeze, then you should back. But if the enemy laner isn't there and it's gonna freeze for her, then that's like quite bad for you as well, because your minions are gonna kill their minions like faster, and then she can amass a greater wave to crash onto you, and then use that prio for objectives and stuff. So, okay, I would field more questions, but I think it's 9:15, so I think we should start the drill now. So actually, all right, any last questions? Like, I'll answer like one more, if anybody has one.
How was the day?
How was my day? It was good, thanks for asking. Matt, did you have a question?
Yeah, it might be a little too in depth, so if it is, just tell me. But
okay, that's fine.
What you said, crashing the wave is what brain dead people do when trying to back.
Yeah, I should say I was being a little bit facetious. Like,
Well,
that's strongly
as
worded.
a brain dead person who only crashes the wave in the back, what should I just take a bad back?
No. What I'm saying is that there are times where it's not bad to back, even if you're not resetting or crashing the wave. So, okay, let me. I think this is worth covering again. So, okay, let me think of this. I just want to be like clear about it and make sure that I'm factually correct. So let's put 6 minutes here, and let's put 8 minutes here. So, you're a Kali, right, versus Annie. I know this is not gonna actually happen, but whatever, right? So you're a Kali versus Annie. You're in the side lane. They have 8 minions. You have it on good authority that Annie is not going to be present in the lane right now. She is busy taking dragon, backing, or roaming.
Dead.
Or dead.
I killed the bitch.
Yeah, you might have killed the bitch or something, right?
Whoa, guys, she's
So,
underage.
let's say, yeah, that's
Nah,
like,
geez.
it doesn't matter which one of those scenarios it is. The important point is just to know, like, you've, like, let's just say, for simplicity's sake, you've killed Annie. She's literally dead. And you have plenty of time, right?
Yeah.
She's dead for, like, 15 seconds or whatever. So, if your wave looks like this, what are you going to do to back?
Push the fuck out of it.
No. Just recall on her dead body right now.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's toxic.
Oh, the BM.
yeah, for the BM. But no, really, like, just recall as soon as possible. Because what's going to happen is, what is this wave going to do, Matt?
It's gonna slowly push back towards him. Wait.
Okay, hold on. Wait, yeah, so that's probably the source of the issue, right? So there's 8 red minions, and there's 6 blue minions, and it's in this zone where it could be in between 3 or 2. Let's, just for simplicity's sake, actually, even better, there's nothing wrong with if it's 10. So, like, let's say there's 10 minions here. What is this wave gonna do?
It's gonna push.
Towards?
Me?
Yeah.
Blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slowly. You're gonna have enough time to base and walk to lane. Whoops. You're gonna have enough time to base, walk to lane, and be here before this, like, really moves. It might be here. It might even be at your tower. Actually, sorry. I'm a little bit rusty myself. I haven't played League in a while. I think it's likely to be on your tower. So especially if this is a cannon wave, because cannon minions take a lot of shots from the tower, you can definitely back. Because what's going to happen is these minions are going to push. Annie's going to lose 6 minions. You're not going to lose 6 minions. You're going to lose either 0 to anything less than 6 is what you're guaranteed to at least have, right?
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed at least 5 minions. But you're likely, and then if this is actually 9, I'm overcomplicating things a little bit, so just to simplify, if this is 9, it's going to freeze. And you're going to lose 0 minions. Okay, you're going to lose like a couple from the attrition of the battle, but only a couple of, like, your 6 minions are only going to kill a couple of his 9 minions. And then it's going to freeze. And you're going to be completely fine. And you're going to come back to lane. And Annie's going to come back to lane like 10 seconds after you. She's going to have missed experience from 6 minions or a little bit more, depending on whether or not your wave has come to reinforce or not. It depends on where your minions were when you backed. Like, so if they're here, if they're here versus like if they're here, right? So depending on when they back, she's going to lose anywhere from like 6 to 12 minions worth of gold and experience. You're going to only lose like 3 to 4 at most. And then you're going to have the wave frozen on her. So what are you going to do to this stupid bitch again?
Freeze it and wait for her to fuck up.
Yeah, freeze it, wait for her to fuck up, and you're going to kill her again.
Because she's got the
and then
long
guess what
lane.
you're going to do, right? And then, yeah, and she has the long lane, she's frozen on. What are you going to do? The second time you've killed her, and the wave looks exactly the same, you're going to back on her corpse. You're going to waste as little time as possible so you can get back to lane before the minions have a chance to crash into your tower if there's a overbearing surplus that exceeds the uneven minion rule. And then you're going to come back to lane and she's going to get shit on and you're going to be like 4 levels on her, and then you're going to carry the game because she's a stupid bitch and she thought she countered you because you're playing Akali and she's playing Annie, and then she looked it up on u.gg and Annie has a 68% win rate against Akali, which means she's going to win. And you know, her team like made this game plan before to like, you know, oh, we're gonna play towards bot side and like, you know, jungle pressure, blah 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 blah, and then they're gonna be like, oh wow, I guess we got countered. Like, I guess Akali counters Annie, and they're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, stupid bitch. I actually just play better than you because I know how to manage a wave. Woo! Yeah, sorry, I need to calm down a little bit. But you know what? Does that make sense?
No. Yeah.
Is that actually no? Because if it's actually no, that's fine. Like, I know this is actually complicated. This is actually complicated, and people don't like understand it. And so I don't.
I feel like it's math class where like
it is math class.
the teacher explained it to me, and I get it. But as soon as I go home to do the homework,
it's out of your head. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish I had actually recorded this because then you guys.
I've got this on stream. It is recorded.
You covered, baby.
Perfect, Dylan. You're awesome. That's right. Okay, cool. So this is being streamed. So perfect. So you can just go back and look at it, and if you have questions, you can ask me. I'm, you know, you can feel free to like post something in 5 words or whatever. And then you could ask Dylan, and Dylan might know a bit about it. And yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do to let the lesson go into practice is we're gonna have a drill. So I'm gonna split you guys into some groups, and I'm gonna explain to you guys what's gonna happen. So let's see. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people here, so we're missing nobody. Okay, so Kyle, you're gonna be mid lane because you're a mid laner.
Hell yeah.
Daniel, what position would you be most comfortable with?
I probably top.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna put you in mid. That was my initial plan. So it's okay. You don't have to like. It doesn't matter. Like if you get Shrek'd, that's like fine. It's totally fine. It's gonna become clear to you when we debrief what we actually did. Okay.
All right.
So. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I know you're a jungler, so you know, don't hold it against Daniel if you didn't wave manage properly. And if you do, then like props to you, man. So Dylan, you're comfortable playing support?
I think so.
Okay. I hope so. I mean, you were a diamond support back in the day, so I'm believing you. And then Matt, are you okay with being? Oh, actually, no. This is what I meant to ask. Wait. Fuck, am I messing up?
We have 7 people total here. So.
No. Yeah, because see what so I want Chris and Hammy to be bot lane together. So you guys are Chris, you're gonna be ADC. Fucking Hammy's gonna be your support, and then but we need somebody to play against you. So it has to be we've got Matt and Dylan left over. So Matt, I know you're a top laner. Sorry for putting you bot lane, but we have like uneven people here, so we're just gonna have to. But it's okay. We can do the drill 2 or 3 times, so don't worry.
Yeah.
So Matt, would you rather be a support or an ADC? And
trust me.
ADC.
Both sounds so
Boy, Poppy
gross.
support.
Okay.
Do you want to CS or do you want to watch someone CS, Matt?
Me tank.
Me tank.
A right-clicking tank, huh? Well, you have both. You have half of both roles. So I guess honestly, like I don't know. Just take some time to think about it. We're gonna set up the custom lobby, and then in 30 seconds you can decide whether you want one or more. And then again, it doesn't matter like if you get Shrek'd, like, don't worry about it. It's fine. You're not gonna get Shrek'd, but that's beside the point.
We
So,
were
okay,
supposed to have this drill with Team Flow at some point, by the way, but you see how that turned
Yeah,
out.
I don't. It's not worth.
What
it.
happened?
WH Omega lol.
Oh wait, is I shouldn't ask. Yeah, never mind.
You can ask.
Is what's his name, Rooster, still top lane? Why is he in the?
Oh
community
no, he isn't.
Oh.
I mean,
if you don't want to say
Why
it.
not?
Okay.
I'll just say it was not my decision. So Team Flow, just so I mean, I don't know, for full disclosure and context, like I don't mind sharing anything. Oh, that hammy, that does look good. Oh, the meat looks good. Is that beef? It's beef, right?
Yeah, it is.
Wow, that's where we're going with that.
I like
So,
being Hammy's beef, baby.
We grilled on Memorial Day, and there was these like the trimmings from this fillet that my dad cooked. I just sliced up real thin and threw in.
Oh, stop! You're making me
I
hungry.
know, it was so good.
Okay, so I'm inviting these people. Who am I
These
missing
people.
on here?
You're missing me.
If you just
missing
invite me, I
Matt?
can invite,
I
you
might
know,
have
my
invited
whole
you,
team.
Jake.
Chris,
I'm not gonna lie.
with Grandpa Dylan playing support for the other side, we're gonna
Yeah.
Shrek him.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
are we
so
saying that
what-
out loud? I thought
Grandpa.
we were saying
Dylan.
Do I have everybody on? I don't even know if I have it. I don't think I.
I invited
Yeah.
everyone on my team after
Alright,
you
perfect.
invited
Alright,
me.
cool. So yeah, whatever. And then I'll just spectate. So, yeah, I'm sorry though. Fuck, I was gonna say something before this. What was I gonna say?
that. Wait, let me think.
Rooster.
Rooster.
Oh yes. Okay, so yeah, for full disclosure about Team Flow. Well, this is being streamed, but whatever. Nobody watches from Team Flow. So
True.
we're fine.
From Team
Nobody,
Flow,
like
from
literally
Team Flow.
nobody from Team Flow is gonna watch it. So, yeah, I'm not trying to like shit talk them, but
You boys.
I stopped coaching them, and then I said that I'd be involved in some kind of like ownership role, but they went ahead and got their own 2 coaches who are brand new. I don't know who they are. They've never contacted me. I have never contacted them. I have nothing to offer these coaches. They have nothing to offer me, and ultimately I have nothing to offer Team Flow anymore in general, and I don't know who these people are who are representing us. So I'm gonna dissolve Team Flow as an official team.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
They can go and do their own thing, like, and it's no hard feelings, like there's no animosity. The only reason I haven't done it like a month ago is because I'm lazy and it's like the lowest of my priorities possible. So that's why I haven't done
I
it
do
already.
say something to him every like once a week at
yeah,
the very minimum.
yeah. Dylan's on my shit, but it doesn't make me any less lazy. I'm just out here playing Heart to Iron
So,
for like
do we get
for
to
8
take
hours.
over? Do we get to yoink the Discord or what's happening?
Oh yes.
The Discord's insane. The
Five
Discord's
esports.
Hell yeah.
well, it's gonna still be called Flow Esports because Flow Esports is the organization title, and then Team Flow is just their team name. I'm gonna delete their channels, and then I'm gonna take away their role, and they're gonna still be community members. So like you guys can still play with them. They're gonna still be part of the server. I don't know if some of them will leave or what, but you know it's perfectly fine. Like if you guys want to like play with Levi, fucking Rainy, whatever, like that's fine. And again, there's no animosity. Like I have nothing against Team
But
Flow.
not Ellis.
I mean, yeah, Ellis is fine or whatever. So you know they'll all be in the server, and then yeah, you guys can just do whatever. Okay, so anyhow though, I'm sorry, we're delaying
Rooster.
things.
So Kyle needs to go to blue team and Matt needs to come to
Yeah,
red
here
team.
I'm just gonna do this. Don't worry, I've got it. So here we go. Actually, I'm gonna do this.
Wait,
I
but,
still
You
don't
guys
know
are
what
going
happened to
here.
Rooster.
yeah.
Now the last thing was, are you gonna be explaining to either team what their objective is, or how are you gonna be doing that?
What the fuck is going on?
He moved us into our own Discord
Dylan,
rooms.
I'm scared.
Wait,
Are you scared?
what's going on?
And Dan. So, this is what you guys are gonna do. You are going to play a normal game of League of Legends. We're gonna play the laning phase, and we're gonna end it around 10 minutes. And you guys just play a normal game of League of Legends. You can pick your best champion, whatever you want to do. I don't care what your game plan is. It can be to.
Kyle's not in here.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
So yeah, you guys are fine. I will probably split you, Daniel, up with, or you know, Daniel. Actually, you can stay in this channel, but like, you have nothing to talk to your
No one
teammates
to
about.
talk to. Yeah.
So if you
Kick
want to
it.
just like focus on your lane, you can feel free to like mute them or whatever. So
Alright.
that's fine. And then Dylan and Matt, you guys are gonna just communicate in lane like you normally would. You should be like have a focus on your wave management. You can use whatever you want to use about what we just talked about, but all I want you guys to do is play an optimal game. So that's what you guys got. And yeah, best of luck.
Cool.
So I'm gonna jump in with them.
Alright, so I'm gonna play mid Camille
So,
into his
do we
Katarina
just not
probably.
know what happened to Rue?
I guess. Yeah, I guess we don't know.
Or
Wait.
not Rue, Rooster?
Rooster, yeah.
I'm sure if you asked him again when we're not in the stream, he might be again open to saying that. He might have just forgotten or something.
You asked him 3 times, and each time he talked about something else that wasn't Rooster.
Well, again, we are on stream. He might have a limit as to what he wants to talk about live for anyone
My
to replay.
headcanon is that I kicked his ass so many times he rage quit.
I would go with that, Matt. That's a healthy way of thinking. How that panned out.
That's definitely not toxic.
I never claimed to not be toxic.
Wait, so you two are laning together bot, right?
Yeah, what AD carry are you playing, Matt?
Me tank?
You gotta play some AD carry, or you could play a tank as support and all AD carry. Which one do you want, buddy?
Or you guys could do like a kill lane. Yeah, like
No,
Pantheon
we're not.
Belfast.
We're not trying to do something crazy. We're trying to do something relatively
Crazy.
standard.
Bro, me playing a non-fucking bruiser tank is crazy.
Okay, play a support. Play an aggressive support like Alistair, or
Pantheon?
if you want, sure.
Done.
That's not the absolute worst support choice, so sure. No, this guy would rather rage quit than play Sona in this game. Yeah, he won't do that.
I'll play Sona. Oh?
Oh, the hyperscaling support, but only for the first 10 minutes of the game where she does nothing?
Which is why I'll play the bitch.
Jeez. Play Pantheon or a traditional support. I'm probably gonna go Jhin.
Yo, my Alistair's dirty as fuck. I don't know if he's gonna be good right now.
He's probably good in almost any meta, honestly, if you just know how to play him.
Or what are we?
He's talking to the other team about what their objective is. He talked to us about what
Mastery
our
7
objective
on a
is.
fuck ton of supports. Holy shit.
Must have played a lot of them. Yeah.
Alistar,
Actually, I might.
Soraka, Taric, Thresh, Zillion. Pantheon.
Pantheon. I love how casually that was thrown in.
Wait, I have more Mastery 7 supports than I do top laners.
It's pretty bad.
Nah, I just play the fuck out of like 3 champions top lane.
What queue does he have this in? Draft mode? We're really gonna be drafting this?
Do I want to buy the Poppy Eternals? Or...
I don't know. There's some champions that I really like playing, but then their Eternals are just trash. So I didn't
just
buy
got
them.
decent ones, like how far I've yeeted somebody with my ult. The
Oh, that's
passive
good.
mitigated is like, eh. And then nope. I like the nope. It's just W's block.
Oh, that's good.
But 600 RP, dude.
600 RP for what?
Fucking Eternals, man.
Mm.
In any other game, that'd be free.
What the game I did? I feel like they changed the top a little bit.
Yeah, they added an alcove.
Yeah. no, of the client. Yeah, they did. They added like a profile thing and a little backpacky.
Yeah, it's confusing me
collection.
trying to figure out where I'm wanting to go.
Navigate.
Yeah. Gosh darn, this is even more. Where the fuck are my runes? It's gotta be. Yeah, okay, it's in the backpack. Good lord.
How do you buy new room pages? Is that in the shop?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Can you do that with Blue Essence?
You can do that with Blue Essence and Riot Points. I got all 10 of my pages due to 2-for-1 specials over the years.
I literally just use one rune page now.
Really?
Start
Remake
carving?
it every time.
I mean, honestly, it's a good habit to get into because it makes you open your room pages every single game to make sure you literally have everything you want to be. But I really do love my 10 room pages for ease. He's having a longer conversation than I thought he was going to have, though.
Are we gonna play any real games tonight?
I was planning on it.
Just one more thing too. They asked, so don't roam. If an opportunity to roam arises, actually, you know what? For your team, you know what? Go ahead and roam. Actually, yeah, sure. I heard Daniel say, "Oh," and I realized, like, yeah, no, it's not a big deal.
That I mean, okay. Sure.
Well, okay. Shit.
Don't go way out of your way for like the support might be able to roam on a back, or the mid might be able to roam if he pushes. But
I'm mid.
The AD carry has no reason to roam. Almost.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So it's okay to roam. Just don't make a big thing of it. Like, don't. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to roam, if it looks good, I'll
would you do it in a normal game? Is the question.
Yeah,
if you
would.
Doing
it in a ranked game,
playing
ranked promos for fucking Diamond. You're in ranked promos for fucking Diamond. It's your last game. You have to win it. If you want to still roam, go for it. Yeah, like you have to just try hard. That's all I'm asking you guys to do.
Okay.
So your guys' job is to try hard. Also, pretend that there's junglers. You can pretend like there's an enemy jungler that you can never see.
Cool.
So like, don't do like crazy shit. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't have a jungler because it's unfeasible to simulate that. But yeah. Anyhow,
Drake,
let's get started.
Drake, are you streaming this right now?
I'm not streaming it, but I'm gonna watch their comms.
Okay.
Did you want me to stream it or what?
No. Kyle just texted me asking if you have a stream.
Okay. No, I'm not. I don't.
Okay.
But Daniel, or sorry, Dylan, you are right.
Yeah, they could technically cheat if they really want to, but you know.
No, Chris already made a joke about it. I told him to fuck off with that. So yeah. Whatever. You know. Yeah. Anyhow. All right, guys. Yeah. Go ahead and start up, and choose whatever champions you want.
Yep.
And you guys are good to go.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna watch their comms. So good luck, guys.
Cool.
But Dad.
This is your one time for us to spell something in bans. I'm just throwing this out there.
It has to be 3 words.
I don't know. It won't let us ban 5. I have no idea how this is gonna work.
No,
It's like we have 3 bans, so I'm going with sex.
There you go. That's a good one.
Now, do I have to do that backwards? So do I have to do like Xerath first? Okay. Cool. Really mature about this.
So he's probably gonna do Cat mid. So I think I'm going to go Camille.
Okay, they're actually gonna try hard these bans. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, dude, Hammy's on the other side. You know they gotta try hard.
Yeah. Chris is super competitive too.
They think we're not. They think me and you aren't switching. That's what. And if any of them are listening to stream, well, now they'll realize their mistake.
No, it's only me watching.
Cool.
The Nivea band.
Yeah, they're really doing the true bans. Which S are we going with? There's so many S's. You know what? I really don't want to play. What S do I don't want to play against?
That's a good one. Oh, for X, you should have banned Zaya.
Probably.
Wait, what the fuck?
What?
Poppy and Anivia?
Yeah, they try hard, these bands, we told you.
But still, like, I mean, why?
Do I have a Jin skin? Wow, didn't know I had one. Must have earned it for free.
Alright, man, they getting them fucking horns.
Wait. No.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, no, Alistair's great into Thrash. What are you talking about? He's a counter pick into Hook champions. You want Alistair into Hook champions. If you play Mean Alistair, this is the game to do it.
I used to play me now, sir.
You just be a timid Alistair than this game.
I mean, who fucking knows anymore, but...
It's been an honor serving you, Matt, as we go through this game. They were probably expecting me to go support.
It's Moo time, bitches!
It's kind of nerve-wracking, not gonna lie.
Oh, to face against Calvin.
Against,
I can't believe he went Gnosis. He never goes Gnosis.
No, because he knows Nasus is like the biggest Camille counter.
Is it really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yes.
I feel like Poppy would be, but that's just me.
Poppy is a decent counter as well, but you can play around it.
We should invade.
No, you can. You just save your E.
Invade, guys. Go. Go, go, go.
I already started Q though. So.
I think Poppy into Camille is my favorite matchup.
I'm not surprised.
All right, hold on. Hug the outside. We're gonna like do the walk around surprise. All right, so walk around.
I'm just following you.
Yeah. No, this is the way to do it.
There. She sees you.
What? Hot.
Nasus is gonna be here. He's gonna be coming for me.
Really? 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 There goes our pressure in line.
It's about sending a message.
Clearly, a cowbell message. Probably. I was about to say MR Runes probably wasn't the best choice, but actually pretty good into Thrash Kaiser.
Nice word.
Thanks.
Bruh.
It's your cannon, buddy.
Oh, ho, ho. That's a tilter. That's a fucking tilter.
Wow. It's pretty bad.
I didn't even ignite the bitch. What?
That's gonna be a great place for them to freeze it through if they want to try. Yeah, it might be too big
that
of a wave.
fucking hook wasn't even meant for me. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We're gonna get some shit talk about that one. Lane was going so well too, but they're staying too long.
All I'm saying is this isn't my fucking.
They're staying too long. And all right, you watch what they're doing though. They should have backed way before then. He's way too low for this. Me and you are just gonna absolutely consta push. Yeah, he's screwed up.
Wait, no! What are you doing? Ugh.
Just keep pushing.
I can kill her with a combo.
If you have the opportunity, feel free. But we just need. You have a charged yet.
Move, bitch!
Alright, back. This is the time to back.
Why did it dive Thresh?
I'm such a good AD carry that I'm buying a control ward in the game there's not even a jungler. Now, if you remember, how is this lane gonna go, Matt?
It's gonna go towards us.
You are correct. So, if we want to freeze, which I love how the supports are the only ones with the kills at this point. This would be the time for us to freeze it if we want to. Now this wave is starting to get a little big for us to control.
Whoa! We fucked up. Is that Hex Flash?
He does have Hex Flash, yes. No, he uses regular Flash. You can look in the tab to see if they have Hex Flash.
Yeah, but Hex Flash doesn't get rid of it. It's for the duration of Flash's cooldown.
Yeah, but you can see that's up at least. Well, that he has it available to use. It's starting to push, so let's see if we can push this on them. I want a big wave if I can manage it. Where is the mid laner?
He backed. He doesn't have TP either.
I think this is ported. Oh. I have flash in 20 seconds.
Eventually I'll... Wow, that's a lot of damage. So they're gonna freeze it right there, which is a pretty good place for them to do it.
I could come down bot here.
Nah, you're good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, outplayed, buddy. Yeah, I remember she's got that heal.
Fuck me, dude. Yeah, but I might. That feels bad. I should just backed.
Yep.
Fuck this dog shit champ.
My man's really ulting just to tank the wave. Oh, this, I'm not gonna lie, Kyle is playing circles around me. Can't do anything against him.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't get why he didn't make you support and then put me in the fucking solo lane.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's all good. It's not supposed to be for you guys to be perfecting this. And there's going to be another game after this for this exercise, so you'll have more chances to do whatever you'd like. Although I think I forget when Matt or Drake won this game.
10 minutes? What's that weird? I want to flash on them.
That was a bad call.
I didn't think you were gonna ult that.
No, I'm an idiot. Ha. And this should be... Whoop! Just get if you can get it. I can't take that many hits. Good job. Haha! We're great at this. Alright, that's our,
Rub at the plate!
This is a good time tonight. You get the play, buddy. I believe in you. Three and 3. Good lord, I'm just doing terrible this game.
Yo, technically I'm 3-2.
True, you got me. I'm stupid for ulting when I did.
Fuck it, I'm just not gonna back.
Yeah, that's why you don't stay around as long as you did, because now you don't have a chance to back with that money you had. That's why I backed. Alright.
I want it! Dick. I wish you the best.
You're a lifesaver. You're such a lifesaver. Actually, keep going. My ult's up in like 3 seconds. Alright, he's gonna do that. Cool.
Dude, I told you, my fucking Alistar, top tier.
DC. Drake might be a little bit behind us in time.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
So,
This is the wrong call, dude. I'm gonna get banned for this.
okay.
Did I win?
Fucked up so hard.
Trust me, I did too.
So Kyle, unfortunately I didn't watch your lane. I was only watching Ham's.
Thank God.
That was
So do I quit?
I'll make a point to watch your lane next time. But anyway,
Don't bother.
No.
yeah. So
No,
in case you guys
there's a lot
didn't
I could have
realize,
learned there.
because we're gonna switch the teams up again, and then is it okay if we do this again, Dylan?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, so this actually might take the entire practice. I don't know. I didn't expect it to be this long, but
I'm having fun with it, so.
Yeah, I think it's. Hopefully you guys are liking it and stuff. So, yeah, that's fine. So anyhow,
That's for you, Drake.
oh, thanks, man. That's awesome. You should join Team Flow with that attitude, man.
Anyway.
Shots fired.
Whoa!
Yeah, shots fired. Shots fired. Anyway. Man, what was I saying though? Actually, before that.
Restore your back
A lesson.
No, not that.
About the lesson.
Yeah, I was just I don't remember exactly what I was gonna say,
You
but
said
yeah.
we're
Anyway,
switching
we're just gonna
teams,
debrief
pick
about it.
out
Oh,
back
right.
to-
I remember. Okay, so we're gonna switch up the teams a bit and do it again. So what is it? Red team? Yeah. So red team, blue. You knew something, or you didn't know something about this drill. So blue team
Except
was
me.
told. Yeah. Except you. Blue team was
Aren't you
told
cool?
to freeze the wave at all costs. Or like not necessarily at all costs,
No.
but to freeze the wave as much as they possibly could.
Alright.
So between choosing like killing somebody or freezing the wave or whatever they were meant to freeze, and I told them, they asked me stuff like, oh, if I have to like push it so that it resets, so that it freezes, like, is that okay? And I told them yes. But the idea was for the blue team players to have the wave on their side of the lane for as long as possible.
So they.
In my case, it was dying, so I could keep the wave frozen. But yeah.
I was tempted, but I got so fed up with that bullshit, but I just attacked.
Wait, what do you mean, dude? I was so tilted because I honestly felt like you were playing circles around me. Like I even said it at some point. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's the point. But like,
the wave was constantly on your side. I couldn't do anything.
Wing me, and I'm all like, "Fuck this! I'm putting a
So
board
what
down."
were
you're
they trying to do?
an
Were they just trying to
Me,
int, or
Alistar, me, whack.
So
were they
so
trying to
the,
int on purpose?
The red team. Oh my gosh. No, the red team was just playing an optimal game. So I just told them to play a normal game. I told them that they could even like roam on you guys to punish if that made sense for them. And so yeah, they were just playing a game the normal way that they knew how. So they didn't have any particular instructions. Now the reason I'm divulging this is because we're gonna switch teams, and so you guys are gonna learn anyway. But in any case, I'm just gonna ask Hammy and Chris about your lane first because I was watching you guys and I took some notes. So, yeah, what did you guys think? Were you guys successful in keeping the wave on your side? What happened? What do you think?
We definitely kept the wave on our side, but I don't think it was like anything that Hammy and I, like especially me, was doing. Like they were just like shoving the wave a lot, even if it was unequal minions and they could have set up a freeze.
Okay.
I also think I should have been thinning out the minions a lot more, because there was times when like it would just absolutely destroy
Yeah.
our wave, and I was struggling a lot with the cannon minions for sure.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, those are all good things. So, all right. So then, yeah, I think that you're right. I think that when you say the wave was on your side of the lane, but it's not because of what you did, you're correct. So Matt and Dylan, if you knew that like they were trying to freeze and you didn't want them to freeze, would you have played it differently? Is there something that you could have done to keep the wave from being on their side of the lane all the time?
Well, either freeze it when it's on our side, or continually trying to outpush their freeze. One of the two.
Okay, so yeah, this happens all the time. So when I say that, like players in any of the elos that I've seen, like, mismanage their wave, I kind of mostly mean this. Now, I understand that you guys weren't given instructions, so you guys don't, like, have to manage the wave any particular way. But if people are ever trying to freeze, what you'll notice, and this is what Chris and Hammy, like, learned from this, is, like, what you'll notice that if you want to freeze your lane, especially if you're a side laner and not a mid laner, you can. Because even if you mess up your freeze, and your wave is set to slow push to their side, what is very, very likely to happen is the enemy team is just gonna, like, auto attack minions randomly until the freeze is, like, going to continue. So they're gonna break your own slow push, and the way that they're, so I'm actually, oh yeah, let me stream. So I'm gonna put up my stream here, and then I'm gonna go live. So, I wish I time-stamped it, but just in general, I noticed a couple things that were going on in Spotland. So, it'd be best if I could type them on the screen, but I don't know how to do that. But I'll just listen here. So, one thing that was happening was that the wave was, like, set to slow push sometimes. So, okay, you have this wave here. Like you said, Chris, you could have probably thinned that a little bit earlier, but I'm glad that you were at least like erring on the side of caution, right? It's always easier to fix lane that the enemy has too many minions than it is if the enemy doesn't have enough minions. Because if the enemy has too many minions for it to freeze, and it would eventually crash into you, the solution is just simply to kill some of their minions, right? But if the enemy doesn't have enough of a surplus for you to keep a freeze going, then you're totally fucked, and now it's going to slow push whether you like it or not. So maybe your best course of option is to, like, hard push the wave, and that's going to take a lot of time, and you're going to end up on their side of the lane for a while, right? So then there's a window of opportunity where they can gank you if you don't want to be ganked, and especially if you're at low health like this, then that would be, like, bad for you. So now I think it was actually this wave. So notice, like, Matt, and this is, oh, sorry, Dylan. And again, this is not to call Dylan and Matt out, like, they weren't given instructions. So this is a perfectly fine game plan, and they were actually doing fine. Like, they were chunking away your guys' health quite well. So I don't think they necessarily made a mistake. But they are pouring a bunch of random damage into the lane, and it's keeping it from... It's keeping you guys from technically... What am I trying to say? It's saving
keeping the
you
lane
guys. There? Yeah, it's keeping the lane there. Right, that's all I'm trying to say. It's keeping the lane there. And even if you guys are making mistakes, it's like they're negating your mistakes. So, and I think that when people, like... It's just important to understand that because you don't want to lull yourself into false sense of security where you think that
Lord.
I, like, froze the wave, even though... what am I trying to say?
I have no idea.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. That didn't make any sense. This is what I'm trying to say. So, League is a game where you can make a mistake, and it's not going to show up, right? Or it's going to show up, but it's going to show up really late. So let's say you have a player who messes up his wave when it's, like, here. So let's say you're playing Kaisa, right? And what you might see at, like, low elos, or if you see a player who just, like, doesn't understand wave management really well, what they might do is just auto attack this wave as much as possible. They're just gonna think, like, oh, I have low health, and I'm just gonna, like, try to push the wave out or something so I could, like, I don't know, recall or whatever. Like, that's the general idea that most players are gonna have. So what's gonna happen if they just try to pour as much damage into this wave as possible?
It's gonna take them forever.
Well, yes, but then what's going to be, like, they're going to be successful at some point, so then what's going to happen?
You're going to get the enemy team's going to get back to lane.
Yeah, it's gonna push towards their side of the lane. And you don't necessarily want that if you can instead freeze. Now, I don't think you guys did that here. So if you notice, like, you're playing this well, you're just, like, keeping it just as thin as it needs to be to continue to freeze. And it's kind of crashing into your tower a little bit. And unfortunately, you guys aren't, like, capable of tanking it so much. But you guys are basically playing it right. Now...
This would be a good time to back. is any.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, this would be a good time to back. You could even have backed earlier. I think, if anything, you would want to back a little bit earlier than you did, even if you have to lose a couple minions, because what's happening now is this wave is going to barely freeze. In fact, yeah. So this is actually what I was trying to find. So I'm glad I found it. So what is this wave's going to do? Like, anybody can answer. It's going to push where?
To red side.
To red side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hammy's correct. This wave is going to push to red side, and we know that because of the
number of minions. Yeah,
the even minion rule, right? So there's an even number of minions. Technically, these ones are a little bit more damaged, but it's not damaged enough to make a difference at this point of the lane. So the even minion rule dictates that the blue minions are going to push. And this is the last situation that Kaisa and Thresh want to be in because they have no health. But what's going to happen is Matt and Dylan are going to come here, and they're going to pump a bunch of damage into the wave, and they're going to keep it from actually pushing to their side. Now, if you guys want to kill them, don't do that. Like this at this point, even if you guys are trying to play optimally, Matt and Dylan.
Okay.
So you guys don't want to do what you did, right? At this point, like, it would have been better. I don't mean to get all coachy about it. I should have probably asked you guys what you would have done. But anyway, as you pump this damage into the lane, first of all, you're taking a lot of damage. Like, you're trying to trade with them, but you're trading too aggressively. So Thresher was able to auto you a lot, and you took some damage from minions. So, but that's beside the point. Just your wave management alone, you don't have to hit these minions at all. You should be ecstatic that it's pushing towards you. Because Kaisa's fucked now, totally. Like, she can back, but then she's going to lose a bunch of minions. She can lose almost 18 minions if it's like a cannon wave like this, right? She can lose a lot of minions. And you're going to lose no minions at all, and she's just going to back, and you can, like, do whatever you want. Like, Dylan can go or Matt, your Alistar. So the support can go and ward their jungle pretty safely, even though you're, like, freezing. It's going to be on your side of the lane, and they're not going to be there. So you technically have prio, and they're losing minions, and you're going to set yourself up for a freeze. So you get the best of both worlds, right? But if you push this wave as much as you can, then Kaisa gets to, like, stay under her tower. She's not going to lose as many minions. Then you can try to, like, make the wave crash, but you don't have that much wave clear. You're not Aurelian Soul. So you're putting yourself at risk here. And if the jungler came to gank you, and Kaisa just, like, gets one Q off and one W, like, that might be enough to finish you off, right? So it's in your best interest to keep the wave pushing to your side of the lane, no matter what. So technically, you're making a wave management mistake, and I only point that out so that you can learn it.
Clearly.
So, does that make sense to both of you guys?
Yeah.
And to Chris and Hammy, does that make sense?
If I think if we had backed as soon as we killed him, like where you see, because you see me go to recall immediately afterwards, but then we stay. I think.
Yeah, let's look at that actually. So that's the next thing I was gonna ask you guys. So I'm getting a little bit monologue-y, and I try not to do that. I try to like be question-based. But anyway, yeah. So the wave is like this right now. Your health is not super bad yet, and the wave is on your side of the lane. But you're going to have to thin it a little bit, especially if your opponents keep putting damage into it, right? So what do you want to do here? I'm asking either of you guys, Chris and Hammy.
Sorry, I'm having a heat stroke right now. Right here? What do I want to do?
Yeah, like what's your game plan here? If you want to keep the wave frozen,
I want to smite that cannon minion real quick.
Okay.
And let the melee and the caster minion cancel each other out, and let those casters just stay right in the red zone.
Yeah, so I think if I would take out the melee minion first. Yeah, that's fine. You made sense. I think you should take out the melee minion as fast as you can, and then you should take out the cannon minion.
Okay.
As fast as you can. So yeah, you have a bit of thinning to do, but then you want to leave their casters alive. In fact, given the fact that, like, taking the cannon minion as fast as you can doesn't mean auto attacking auto-attacking it off cooldown, since you have to like evade Jin's damage, then taking the cannon minion at a moderate pace is fine. In fact, actually, now that I look at it, the minions are like kind of close to being able to reinforce. So yeah, it's the wave is in a decent position for you. And then so this happens now, right? So we're gonna get a kill, and then and now so we got this double kill, right? Which is not anticipated, but now check your wave
real talk,
out.
Though, was that fucking hook meant for me? Because I don't believe it was.
meant for Jay.
It was meant for you. I predicted your fucking.
You think
I was so mad.
Drake, if I insta base right here, it's okay, or do I get?
Well, I'm gonna ask you that first. So I as a coach, I try not to like give the answers out in monologues. So if I'll ask you guys, what do you guys do here? So Hammy, you mentioned like after killing them backing. What do you think about that?
You're gonna see me go, and I'm gonna proc my support item on the cannon. I think as soon as we kill the cannon, we back.
Yep.
And I think I do that if you go forward.
Yeah.
So Chris, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I like. It's a question for me. Like, because I don't know much about like the cannon minions in bot lane yet. So like, it's questionable like whether I leave this so I can it lets the tower tank, and I don't know if like that's worth losing the cannon for a few tower shots or taking it right now and then basing.
Let's say that Hammy and you back immediately without taking the cannon minion. What do you think the wave is gonna do?
It's gonna destroy the blue one, and either the cannon minion might tank first or maybe a melee, and I maybe lose 3 or 4 minions.
What do you think, Hammy?
I think if you leave the cannon, it tanks 4 or 5, maybe 6 shots. But I mean, it's almost in tower range. As soon as that melee minion in front of it dies, it goes under.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess maybe it's better to leave it then, because if Kaisa started recalling right now, she could get back and it would kill less, because it only takes 2 to kill or it takes 2 for all of them. But yeah, I guess leave it alive then, because if you back right then, it's going to push in, but it'll take so long that she'd be back before she misses more. And if I take it, then more melee caster minions die. But you do get like 90 gold, so I think I would still vote me proc my support item and back.
Okay. So here's my take on it, and I'm actually not 100% sure that I'm 100% right. So maybe take it with a grain of salt. But this is so I think that both of you guys are on the right track, and I think that if you take this cannon right here, you proc your support item on it, like you did. Let's actually just watch you do it, right? So you're gonna like proc it, and then if you guys back right here, it's basically totally fine. You might want to kill 1 more caster minion.
Yeah,
because this is looking like 5 minutes. So let's just pretend this one is dead. So you got 5 minions to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has this is a 4 surplus. So you want to cut this down to a 3 surplus, because what zone is it in?
Red zone.
It's in the red zone, and in the red zone, in order to freeze, how many 3+? So you want to make this 3+ enemy minions. If you make this 3+ enemy minions, and then you back, you're gonna be fine, right? You're a kill ahead. It doesn't matter that you took those shitty trades earlier. They're gonna lose minions. You're gonna come back to lane, and you're gonna lose minimal amounts of minions. So like, this cannon minion, I think, complicated your guys' thought process a little bit. So I think Hammy, I think you did the right thing. Your instinct was good, which is a good sign. I think if you allow this cannon to stay alive, like Chris, you were saying, you're gonna like lose maybe like 4 minions or something, and then come back to lane. I think you're probably going to lose all of the minions, because you have to recall, which is going to be 8 seconds, right? And then you have to walk back to lane. Well, you're going to have to like purchase for at least like 2 seconds probably. And then you're going to walk back to lane. Without boots, that takes, what, 28 seconds? 26?
I think
24, something like that? Okay. So if you have boots, then it takes like 23 seconds or something to come to lane. I need to verify that actually. But yeah, it'll take around 20 seconds to come to lane, which is 28 total seconds. And that's enough time for this second wave to already get here, and it's going to be pushed in. I think you probably lose most of these minions, if not all of them. And we know we don't have to speculate about whether or not that's okay, because you have a better alternative, which is to do this, right? To just leave it here, kill 1 or 2 casters, make sure there's a 3 zone. Like, you don't have, there's no guesswork that you have to do in order to get to this scenario, and you can like guarantee yourself a perfect freeze, right? So even if you kill a minion too many, like it's probably fine, right? So at this point, now right here, what do you guys think of this wave now? Like, it's only been a couple seconds since we actually killed that cannon minion, right? So like, we're here, and then we kill the cannon, and then we see this, and then we start attacking it, and we have the opportunity to keep it at like a 3+. But what do you think happens now?
I think
So Chris,
it's-
you said super scuffed.
Well, I still think it's leave it, because the 2 melee minions are going to go into turret, but those casters aren't, and those other minions, our 3 casters are going to die, and by the time the 2 melees die from tower shots, right, we'll have, you can call that 4 minions, because you'll have 2, a quarter and a half HP casters. I think it's still, it might almost freeze if you just left after, instead of killing those 2 that you're attacking right now, Chris, and just back. I think it would either slow push back or freeze, because the casters won't go under. The melees are going to go under first, and our reinforcement wave will be back.
I think Hammy is right. I think that this is a dicey situation now. It looks maybe like it's still freezable, but it looks like it might crash. You're playing with fire a bit, and I think what happens if you kill these 2 caster minions, Chris?
It's gonna be 3 to 2 minions, or 3 to 5 minions. I mean, because they'll have their 2 melees, and we'll have 3 casters with barely any HP.
And then what does that mean?
Uh,
If you're in the red zone, and they have a surplus of 2 minions.
I'm in the red zone, and they have a surplus of 2 minions.
Is it gonna freeze? Is it gonna slow push towards
It's
them?
Slow pushing towards them, no?
Yeah. So, which is still okay-ish if you think you can rely on the fact that your opponents are going to push random damage into the wave, which below platinum you can almost guarantee. But if you're playing against double lift, you're also playing with fire by attacking these 2 casters. So I don't think you want to do that. I think like, you guys can back far earlier here. That's the takeaway from this, right? You guys can just back as you kill them. Like, and this is what I was talking about earlier. So what actually happens in this game, what ends up happening is you guys end up staying here, and then now it looks like this. So what you don't want to do, this is a quick thing that I want to mention, then we're going to get to the second drill. When you're at this position here, let's see. Like, I do this sometimes too. So you're at this position right here. Is this wave going to freeze or slow push, or what's going to happen?
I think it barely slow pushes because of that 1 caster minion that stays alive.
Okay. Hammy, what do you think?
It's going to slow push.
Yeah. So we know for sure it's going to slow push, but it's actually going to slow push harder than you think, because of that. So your 6 minions kill their 3 minions, which are standing alone, pretty quickly, and by the time they're dead and the other reinforcements from red lane has arrived, it actually just looks like an even minion. So this is where we came full circle. This is what I pointed out to begin with. Like, don't get fooled when you like actually have 3 minions. Like, what you ideally want, you want a surplus of 3 minions. But it's not really a surplus of minions if it's actually just 3 minions. If you still want to freeze this, you have 1 more Hail Mary. You have 1 more Hail Mary. What would you do if you want to guarantee yourself that this minion wave will freeze? Assuming that
What to do with that?
I smite my
have
own minion.
yeah, that would be a good idea. But it's not even that. Like, this minion cannot be here either. Like, if this minion isn't there, then that's fine. It doesn't really change the fact that your minions are going to go there and kill their casters pretty quickly. And I think it's going to be the same situation. So if you have intel that the jungler's not going to like come and one-shot you, and the wave looks like this, what can you do to guarantee the freeze? Even if it's a little bit cheesy.
Walk into the bush.
Chris is gonna stop aggroing that caster and get the arc caster dead, and then hold it.
I don't
well,
know. I don't know the ball lanes, to be honest. Is there a way I can manipulate the next wave by dragging it out? Because I don't know how that works in bot.
it
Walk into
does
the
have
bush.
something to do with tank. So I guess leading to the bush is kind of the right idea. So what you want to do? Let me get Epic Pen. For a
Wait,
second.
hold up. Kind of the right idea?
Yeah. So well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Matt. What do you mean by go into the bush? Like what?
Literally,
J-
take minion aggro, walk up into
Uh-huh.
that bush, and it's gonna draw them into that like 2 minion-ish zone.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So yes, you're correct. So
Hey.
what you
Yay,
could
Matt.
do, these minions, they're aggroing you right now, right? So what you want to do is go here, drag the minions with you. I guess you could do it in the bush, but it's a little bit more precarious. But if you can, what you can do, it's like, again, it's super cheesy, but like if you know that you're not gonna die, right?
This looks like a ball sack. I'm sorry.
You know,
It
that
looks
crossed
like-
that crossed my mind, but I wasn't gonna
That's so
say
funny.
anything.
I literally did.
I'm trying to stay focused because it's really good practice, but it was kind of throwing me off.
Yeah, no worries. So, okay, what these minions are gonna do, they're aggroing you, right? And then if you walk here, and there's 3 minions following you, and these 6 minions are gonna get here in time, right? They're already like off screen, they're like almost there, right? They're by their tower. You can see on the minimap. What's gonna happen as you get here? Ideally, you would have more health and
That's
whatever,
gonna
like.
be 9 minions to my 6, 7.
Oh, and what's gonna happen then?
Oh shit! You just blew my mind, Drake.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know math.
I know. Just
It's gonna
we
push
free my
into
boy.
you.
We free
It's
my
right
boy
in the
6-9.
center.
That's what's gonna happen.
Oh,
9
yeah,
bigger
yeah.
than 6. 9 win.
Yeah. Because this is the middle of the lane. I know the
Quick
camera
maths.
angle doesn't really do it justice. Yeah, big check. But yeah. So what this is, you're cheating the wave. You're like, this is like as underhanded as it gets in League, but you're like basically
people.
cheating them to have a surplus of minions, and you're saving yourself from this freeze. So all the way back, right? If we go back, you guys are talking about like, oh, the cannon minion. Like, what if we keep it alive, and then maybe like we'll have space to, blah blah blah. Like when you're right here, right? If you don't know for sure, try to draw the aggro of the minions. It's not always going to be possible, but like if you can try to draw the aggro of the minions, you can just push it back a little bit. Like just bring it over here and then back, and then go into the bush and then back. And then you're guaranteed for their wave to be pushing into you, and you're going to like lose less minutes. Now that's not always going to be possible. If you have this little health and you don't know where the enemy jungler is, like don't do that, because whatever. Even if you don't know where the enemy mid laner is, don't do that because you could die. Right? So you're going to have to be smart about that. But if you're really trying to be cheesy and guarantee your freeze, you can always, as a last resort, take aggro and go further back in the lane. Even if, like, you can get super ridiculous with it and go all the way back to here. I remember, Dylan, we played once, and I did that, and you commented on it, and you're like, wow, you're such a tryhard or something.
That's the exact message I said?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So, yeah, this is a super tryhard thing, but you guys can do that as a last resort if you need to. So, okay, this is a lot of information. Are you guys still mentally there? Like, are you guys
Dude,
with
I
me?
processed everything perfectly. Don't even worry about it.
Okay. And this is all going to be on stream, also. So if you need to look back, that's fine. Let's do a second one.
I got a B+ in my,
Wait,
my statistics class, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I can handle
I
it.
have 700 MMR in chess. You think I can't take a little bit of this?
700.
Are we?
Bro. Okay. All right. Yeah,
So-
Daniel. Yes.
I want to go through what happened in mid lane
Okay,
because
You were winning, Daniel. You were actually winning.
I'm just gonna say this right now. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay.
So,
So
with
if you
wave
have-
management, so
Okay.
I, as everyone knows, I'm the jungler, and it's super cliche for me to say I don't know what's going on, and it's true. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just
It's his catchphrase.
So- yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of times when I play top when I'm casually playing, so I play quite a bit of top lane. And whenever I do, I do that mindless thing that you were talking about, where I mindlessly throw damage onto the wave,
the minion just randomly.
the minions, and I just do that. So I was doing it because I generally always push for like level 2, and then I go for trading, but I don't really take into account what that does to my wave.
Wow.
And then that's what happened here, is that the wave is just constantly on his side. I can't touch him. And
Well,
I'm CSing freely, and I'm fine. But if there was a jungler here, I would die, and I just.
I'm just gonna throw this out here too. It's not very often it's melee v melee like this in the mid lane, which made it'd be a lot harder to freeze if it was range v range in that center lane than it was here. But that was really smart of Nasus here. I love
Slightly
that.
off topic though, why did we make our other solo laner support and our jungler solo lane?
Good question.
You're gonna be the solo lane this next game.
Yes. We're
I don't
switching.
want to play against Mad. He's gonna play Maokai. He can just slap me.
Yo, just fucking ban out my champion pool again.
No. I'm
So
playing
yeah. So Daniel, I mean, okay. So you're telling me
like this, I push for level 2, and then I go for more aggressive trades, and then
if you push
but
for level 2,
I'm not able to do anything.
Yeah,
so okay, if you push for level 2, what do you do to push to level 2? These are super basic questions. They're not tricks. What do you do to push to level 2?
You just push the wave or throw damage on it.
You throw damage on the wave.
Yeah.
What happens when you throw damage on a wave?
It pushes.
Yeah, all things being equal, right? If it's being in the center, it's gonna push, right?
Yeah. So
if you've pushed your wave towards the enemy's side of the lane, and there's like, you have a surplus of minions, what might it do?
Freeze?
You give me the initiative to do whatever I want with it.
Or I allow him to.
Yeah, so I can just freeze it
Push.
because he gave it to me. And if I freeze
Right.
it, I hit level 3 first. Right?
Right, which is what happened.
Yeah, and so, okay, so now, what if you are pushing for level 2, and you're sending a surplus of minions to the enemy side of the lane, like Kyle's saying, right? It's gonna, like, invoke the what rule?
Uneven.
Uneven minion rule, right? So then there's 2 zones, somewhere between, like, this little, like, fireplace, like, on this, right, area here, which is like the green zone, and then like this area here under the tower, which is like the red zone, just out of the tower's range. You can see in mid lane, like they're very narrow, right? So this is why it's difficult to manage mid wave, because it's so narrow. But if you have any kind of surplus and it's on their side of the lane, then you know that they can freeze. So what do you do to, like, if you don't want them to freeze and you have a surplus of minions on their side, what can you do about it?
You
can name all the options.
You can.
Well,
go...
let Daniel answer. If
can you say it again?
So, you have a surplus of minions on the enemy side of the lane, and based on the uneven minion rule, it's likely to freeze. So, what can you do if you want to break the freeze? What are your options? You can list everything that you can possibly think of, and there's like a couple.
Honestly, the only thing I can really think of is just damage it and to break the freeze by killing their minions.
Yeah,
by killing
killing the minions. Thank you for the applause. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's true, Daniel. So like, you can kill killing the wave. If you have enough damage and enough range and enough of an advantage that you can just like delete the minions, then you might be able to delete them fast enough that they can continue to push into the tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
So continuing to push is like one way that you could break a freeze. What are the downsides of that?
I'm possibly trading inside the enemy wave, so I take a lot of damage, or I could take turret aggro, or I just in general take a lot of damage.
Or gank.
Or gank, yeah, because
Kyle,
I'm
shut
pushed
up,
super
dude.
far.
It's okay.
But
yeah,
I mean, just in general, it's kind of dangerous to do that.
yeah.
To
So
throw all your abilities down and.
there's
Yeah.
some risk involved with this, right?
Yeah.
You can lose HP or die to a gank. Those are some of the bad things that can happen. Now, that doesn't mean that you can never do it or that you should never try to do it or whatever, but it just means that there are certain occasions where it's not going to be the best case scenario for you. So then, what else can you do to break a freeze?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's think about it a bit. It's actually it's a legitimately hard question to answer, right? So think like really outside of the box. You're in this game, we were just like laning against each other 1 versus 1, but in a real game, you have teammates.
Oh.
So what's like an out of the box solution?
I mean, ask for a gank, or no, I don't know.
Ask for
Yeah.
a gank?
No, I mean, well, you said I honestly, I was kind of thrown off by that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what
I'm
I
gonna
can
give
do to
you-
the wave.
I'm gonna give you a little bit more of a chance. So you've got teammates.
Yeah.
This Nasus is like freezing on you like all hell. You're just like, fuck, shit, god damn it. And you're not
Demonetized.
C-popping that because you're an
Is that
awesome teammate,
Yeah.
right? And
Uh-huh.
oh, sorry, I demonetized your stream.
No, you're. I'm just joking. You continue.
No, that's Matt's career.
Yeah. But anyhow, oh, okay. I'm taking over Matt's job, I guess. So anyway, though, yeah. So
Call
you've got a
me
teammate.
outsourcing.
You've got teammates, and Nasus is freezing you. First of all, what do you tell your teammates? I know
Nasus
we
is
talked
a
about this a
shittily
little
designed
bit
gym.
during this.
Daniel,
no,
think
we-
about what I would tell you all the time.
You're good.
Where you just say that he's frozen on me, or you just tell them that the wave is frozen.
Yeah. So number one, you tell them that hey, Nasus is like freezing on me hardcore. Can you get help unfreezing it?
Come on, Daniel, you got this.
It's
You're-
I-
Daniel,
really,
you're
it's
half
really
the
out of the
equation.
box.
I-
Think
I
about
don't
what we
know.
as millionaires ask you to do.
Just
It's really good for you to know as a jungler.
Honestly, I think he knows it. It's just he doesn't know what the perspective
Yeah,
of
he's-
it.
you're
Because he's
gonna-
looking
you're
at
gonna
it.
say-
He knows it from the jungler's perspective.
Yeah. You're gonna say we're gonna tell you, and you're gonna be like, oh, yeah, duh.
Ooh, the suspense.
Just like that.
I'm fucking lost too, bro. I got no
I
idea.
have no
Okay.
I have no idea.
This is it's really good if you guys walk through this. I'm trying my best not to give you the answer. So, all right, you said ask for a gank. What would a gank do for you?
Well, if he's freezing on me, then he's probably just gonna walk away, and I can't get anything out of it. But then that pressures him off the wave, and then I can possibly push the wave and shove safer.
So if
So,
you're
which-
if you
which
get
allows
your
me to kill
jungler,
away.
so okay, so we're getting like warmer, right? So like
Really
it goes back to this idea of killing the wave, and you're saying, hey, I'm frozen on, it's like locked here, can you gank me? And your jungler's like, well, he's so close to his tower, so it's going to be difficult, and it's mid lane, but like I guess we can try. So like maybe he's like Kane or something, he can get out of it, and he has ult. But and then maybe he just like jumps over this wall, like you can get like a crazy gank off, and then whatever, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's a possibility. And then what happens to Nasus after you gank him?
He retreats. He either dies or he has to fall back.
So he has to fall
Are
back
you guys
or
saying like
die.
just the jungler shoves the wave? I mean,
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
okay.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know if you actually answered it, but you basically answered it. You can ask for the jungler to just push the wave in.
To
Like,
tax
ask
you.
for jungler.
Take the
to-
wave. Yeah.
help push. And this doesn't have to be in the form of a gank. Like, it's cheesy. It is cheesy, and I am asking you to think out of the box, but it sounds like Chris has asked you for this sometimes.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, we do this all the time.
Yeah, okay, well then there you go. So you can literally just have Cosmics like come here and like boom, 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 and help you kill the wave, because there's less risk involved in just you killing the wave yourself. Or, I mean, sorry, there's less risk involved with you getting the help of your jungler to clear the wave than you killing the wave yourself. You have twice as much damage and twice as much opportunity to just
Right.
eliminate the wave. And if the enemy jungler comes, it's
2v2.
less likely that he can like get a kill or anything, right?
Right.
Because you're gonna also both be there,
So
and
it's
it's gonna be
safer.
like a Mexican standoff kind of whatever, right? Unless you
Okay.
guys like fuck up, or maybe they have like a hard engage or something. But you guys can like play that by ear. So those are your two options, and then I'm a little bit less certain about this actually. So this becomes a gray area. But another thing you could do is trade. If you have a range advantage, which you don't in this matchup obviously, but if you have a range advantage, a little bit maybe, I don't know. But you know, normally it's going to be the case in mid lane. You can just wipe this guy's health out if you can, and like oftentimes like it is a game plan to that challengers will say like, I'm gonna just like push the wave into his tower and harass him as much as I can while he's CSing. So if you want to break the freeze, you have to be good at trading enough that his health is going to get lower and lower and lower, and it's going to be harder for him to keep the freeze there, because in order for him to thin the wave out, it's going to you're going to have the opportunity to maybe kill him, or he's going to have to eventually recall, and then you go to
Right.
option
So
one,
you
kill the wave.
right.
And
okay.
then there's one more thing that I want to say. Like, these are your solutions, right?
Okay.
What's
Ooh.
unless you're
But all of
doing
them
this.
have the same goal of just
Yes.
of shoving.
Right. So we're going there next, right? So if unless you're like actually actively killing the wave, unless you've asked for your jungler to help, and unless you've gotten him low enough that he's backed or died, and then you kill the wave, right? These all go here, right? So these three things
Right.
are all the same thing.
Yeah.
If you can't do any of these, you're Camille, you don't have a jungler, he's too retarded and he's dying to his raptors, and you can't kill the wave. What should you do to lessen the impact of his freeze? It's a hard one. I know we've already like talked about a lot, but I'll give you two options. I'll make it a little easier. You can push as hard as you can, or you can not do any damage at all. In
Just
that
say
spectrum,
fuck it and leave the lane. Roam.
Hey.
Hey,
you could.
that's
That's not going to unbreak the freeze though.
Right.
So if you want to unbreak the freeze, you're actually half right with that answer.
Okay.
But to get more right, what do you do? If you roam, you're accidentally doing this. Like, you're doing this by
Well,
coincidence.
are you saying like back off and maybe allow him to push?
I got your answer.
Yeah, so, okay. I
Getting
guess we
lower.
didn't, we kind of didn't go over this super
lost.
a lot. But basically, remember how this is mid lane, right? And why is it hard to manage the wave in mid lane?
Because it's so short.
Short as fuck.
It's short and it's
Small,
it's
it's
less
small.
forgiving, right?
Yeah.
So here's what might happen. Now, you obviously like, okay, in your actual solo queue games, you're like, if you're gold or platinum or anything below that, then like this will work because your opponents are going to make this mistake, like almost by guaranteed by default. But and it's not flame to the community
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, I try not to flame or anything, but you know. Anyway,
Okay.
you want to not do any damage to the wave in the hopes that you're kind of gonna have to play this by ear. But like, so there's this red zone, right? And then there's this we'll call it the blue zone, right?
Okay.
You need how many minions surplus to keep a freeze if you're Nasus?
one, right?
One here and
2 here.
2 here. So what might happen? You've got 5 minions. He's got 3 here. Right? So if he's got 3 minions and you've got 5 minions and they're meeting right here, you can fuck it up if you want, and like, wait, can you fuck it up? Do I know what I'm
No.
talking about? Hold on.
Like a fast push? I don't think you can, right?
No. Okay, so yeah, this is so. If he has 5 and you have 3, or sorry, if he has 3 and you have 5, then you have a net surplus of 2 minions.
Right.
If they're here and you have a net surplus of 2 minions, what's gonna happen?
It's going to be pushing towards him.
It's gonna be pushing towards him. Wait. Oh wait. Shit.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
it's pushing
Oh wait, I fucking confused
Yeah,
myself.
yeah,
Hold
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Hold on.
Wait,
It's-
am I?
Yeah. You're
am
right.
I wrong?
You're right.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you're not wrong.
You're right.
So if
Okay.
you wanna, yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm actually going down. I'm rusty with League. I kind of fucked up this one a little bit.
Okay.
So
well,
okay, this is what I mean. If you don't do any damage to the wave, there's a chance that he kills your minions. You go down to 4. He kills your, and then you go down to 3, and then you go down to 2, and he only has 2. And then what happens if he has 2 and you have 2? You have a surplus of what?
0.
0. And what happens if you have a surplus of 0 and you're meeting on either of these sides of the lane?
It's going to push.
It's
to
going
the
to slow
opposite side.
push. So if you want to observe your opponent and not attack the wave and see if he randomly puts damage into your wave and allows it to slow push. Now, if you're playing against double lift, like, he's not going to be that dumb. But your opponents are going to be that dumb in your elo. So let them be dumb and fuck their own wave up. And then just be patient. Because more often than not, like, this is, like, so we were talking bot lane earlier. Like Chris said, oh, the wave was on our side of the lane, but it wasn't, like, because of what we did. And he was right. Because Dylan and Matt, it wasn't necessarily wrong for them to do this. I mean, they were wrong in that one occasion that I pointed out. But if they just, like, put enough damage into the wave, they're going to distort the uneven minion rule in such a way that actually allows you to freeze even if you don't deserve to be able to. Does that make sense?
Right. Okay.
So you're almost guaranteed at this elo for your opponents to push into you. So when you guys are in scrims and you can't do one of those 3 options, you can't trade with him until he backs, you can't kill the wave with your, like, brute wave clear, and you can't ask the jungler for help, then wait for him to make the mistake, because otherwise, I mean, like, you're actually fucked if he doesn't make the mistake. Then you are frozen on, and you need to, like, not allow yourself to get frozen on in the first place. That's the best answer to this question, right? But yeah,
I'll continue. I'll say something
Okay.
afterwards, but yeah.
But yeah, so if you got frozen on by accident, and if you can't do one of those 3 things, then don't put damage into the wave, and allow yourself the satisfaction of watching him unravel the wave entirely, and then you can freeze yourself.
Okay.
So there you go. Those are my answers for you. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
You
Yes.
asked if I, like, the wave was always on his side. What do I do about it? Those
Right.
are your 6 options. Number 1, don't put the wave on his side. Number 2, kill the wave with brute wave clear. Number 3, ask your jungler for help, whether that's a gank or just, like, pushing.
Just a push.
Number
Yeah.
4, trade his health bar until he backs, and then kill the wave. Number 5, don't hit the minions. Just let him accidentally push it back into you, hopefully. Which is a Hail Mary.
So, I don't know if this is too hyper specific to top lane and the tanky champions I tend to play, but what I do in a situation where I can't break the freeze, and I'm not, like, super, like, far behind, I can trade with the guy. I take the aggro of the incoming wave and aggro it onto a single minion, if that makes sense. Like, I walk behind it,
Yeah, could do that.
take a few minion hits from, like, the
big brain.
melees, and then bring it to onto one of my melees. Like, I lose a good chunk of health for it, but it basically guarantees the wave to push. I don't know if that's, like,
That's
big
actually
brain
pretty-
or if that's just
Yeah,
mad
no, that's
tank.
interesting. I honestly just didn't know the. Yeah, that's
Really do
pretty
that,
fucking.
yeah.
Yeah, that's 200 IQ, man. I don't know if that actually works. I'd like to experiment with that, but I didn't know you could even
Do
necessarily
it
do
with
that.
like Maokai and Poppy because you get the free health. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't think it would work in mid. I don't play anyone squishy enough where it really is a loss. But
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting, though. I think you're onto the right idea, Matt. Like that could work.
Super helpful when
It's-
your tier 1 is down and you're at your inner tower getting fucked. And you want
Yeah.
to freeze, but you're too brain dead to actually freeze.
Jeez.
There you go.
I did want to say one very last comment. If your freeze is being done because of a health differential, like your opponent has 2/3 of his health and you only have like 1/3 of your health, and you know you're just going to die going forward, and you have no other options for to break the freeze, just simply backing and getting back to full health might also be an option to break that freeze. You might just have to do
Pussy
that.
way.
Well, it
Yeah.
might not break the freeze. I don't.
Well,
I-
you
I
can
think-
come.
yeah,
You
I
can
got
come back
Dylan's
with a
take.
better health differential in order to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
that difference. Is what I'm saying. The freeze
Yeah,
might
yeah.
still be there, but you have some more tools to actually
Well,
break it.
To be fair, actually, what Dylan is saying, you know, if you back, like your opponent might get that. Oh my God, I have to push so I can reset because I saw him reset, so I'm gonna make him lose minions. And if he falls for that, like you're not even necessarily trying to bait him into that, but like he might just decide, like, okay, I'm gonna push as hard as I can, and then what's gonna happen is you're gonna have recalled.
You're gonna meet it.
You're gonna be here.
Yeah.
You're gonna be halfway to lane when the wave crashes into your tower, and then he's gonna have to back, and he's gonna have fucked himself up, and then you're gonna be fine. So you could actually, that's like 500 IQ. Maybe you could bait him into that. Like, so yeah. So what Dylan is saying, it might actually psychologically make your opponent make a mistake. So yeah.
No.
But yeah, what Dylan's also saying is, yeah, just don't stay in lane then if you're gonna die.
No, like, there's actually a few points where you actually did the third thing, the trade back. Like, I was under my tower, right? I was freezing it. You kept on Wing me, especially in the beginning.
Okay, but you're Nasus, so the damage is
Yeah.
negligible.
Yeah, but that did kind of annoy me just a bit because you do heal off of it, right? And there's one part, I believe, where you autoed me gain the armor shield to negate the tower shot.
take
not
the
to
tower
negate
shot.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what you did wrong was like you E'd in or something, so you couldn't get out after I withered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, notice. So Kyle, you're doing a good job here. You were
Yeah.
tanking that last cannon wave there, so it didn't like crash into your tower, which allows you to keep
Yeah,
the
that's
freeze
why-
up, and then you're gonna do it again here.
That's
So,
why I was
yeah,
saying
Daniel,
that.
you might be. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Dan.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think that was more matchup specific with Camille and Nasus that you're able to pull that off. But
No, I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
There
Yeah,
was a point in the game where he actually ulted just to tank the wave and keep it on his
Yeah.
I was like,
There you
I was
go.
like, dude.
There you go.
I saw that. I was like, bruh, you gotta be kidding me. Because I was like, all right, I gotta shove. I'm doing such a good job. Like I but then
Yeah.
he,
15 seconds earlier, he got the armor shield to tank the minion.
I love the teleport back. That's a dick move.
I mean, you're gonna see that in mid lane fairly often, so that's pretty realistic actually. All right. Well, so yeah, I guess I don't know when does practice normally end for you guys?
In 40 minutes.
In 40 minutes. So do you guys want to do one more drill of this, or do you guys want to do like a flex game? I don't know.
I'd like
I
to-
didn't plan for it to go this far anyways.
Well, not everyone got an opportunity to try the freezing part themselves, so I think it'd be good
Okay.
for
I think you're right.
We go again. I
Okay.
have a quick question that
Yeah.
I want to react to. Does anybody know the exact outcome of like abilities and minion prio? Is it like raw skill shots don't activate minion minion aggression, but like point and clicks do, or is it just
Oh.
no
No,
abilities at all?
It's single,
Single
target,
target.
abilities.
Yep.
and
Like I
auto
remember
attacks.
hearing that, but
Single target
Okay.
abilities and auto attacks.
so like a Xerath E does
Not.
aggro minions? It doesn't.
No, that's a skill. No, yeah.
The
Because it's a
stun,
skill
the
shot.
stun.
I think it would still get the aggro.
I don't think so.
Would it
No,
not?
no, no. It has to be
But no
a
target.
targeted ability. It has to be a
Does
targeted
it?
ability, like a
Well, point and
Cassidy
click,
or
right?
yeah,
It's
Like a
cat-
Jax Q?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
A
Rice
Jax Q.
does
What is
aggro.
All I know is Pantheon's QW
what?
draw
Rise,
aggro, but
Rise,
his E does not.
He does not know. Like, I know Rice Q draws aggro, especially if they're in the wave.
Rise
Uh,
Q
Maybe
draws
because
aggro.
it only
Wait,
Yeah, I
Pantheon-
feel like they
Pantheon
they
is good.
changed a little bit of how that aggro thing works, which is why I
No,
don't
that-
think it's
no,
purely
I don't
just
know
single
that.
target anymore.
Yeah, I don't know
Really?
what it is, Chris.
I'd have to relook
Yeah,
it up.
Rise Q is technically AoE sometimes, so that's
I'll try and look it up.
surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
it's-
pretty
it's
sure.
really-
I'm pretty sure my Soraka Q draws aggro.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it does, unless you're like
That's
the
bizarre.
only viable target.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't keep up with the patch notes. I don't play this game anymore.
Yeah.
So I wish I could. I wish I had a definitive answer, but I used to think it was single target, like I guess point and click, and then auto attacks, but that might have changed.
I know it used to be. But
Who
am
am
I?
I not? Who am I missing? There's like a bunch of people out here or something. Here, there you guys.
I'm actually gonna run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Hammy, why is that your fucking tagline, bro?
Why is
Cream.
your tagline off-brand Tyler 1?
Because Travis, who used to be in the server, he was a founding member of for support for Team Flow when it started over a year ago. He's a buddy of mine from college. He and I used to play League a lot, and I was just basically from the forest, as in wilding out about I don't know. This was like season 8, and I was on my climb, and I was getting back to platinum after being hard stuck silver, and I was just hyped every game, I was on coke basically, fucking yeah, dude, these guys suck dick, I'm fucking awesome as shit. And so he called me you're like Tyler 1, but just shittier and off brand. Yeah, that's right.
Damn.
Yikes.
Alright. Well, mine's Cream Coochie because every time I pick up one of them Tinder thoughts, I take them by Krispy Kreme verse.
Good lord, man.
Why?
That was a cursed sentence, dude.
That was
a cursed sentence.
Because I gotta get a bigger dozen of them glazed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Mm.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
You asked, or someone asked.
Yeah, everything that you just said in that sentence is completely deplorable, bro. I just hope you know that.
Listen, I live in the forest because I'm wild. And
Yeah, I agree. I see that. Oh, yeah, let's talk about assignments. So, let's have Matt do a solo lane, and let's have Kyle do a solo lane. And you guys can go top this time. So, Matt, you're going to try to freeze, and Kyle, you can just play an optimal game. So we're just going to flip our roles. Let's have Chris and Hammy try to just play an optimal game, go bot lane. And then let's have Daniel be support,
Wait,
and
no,
then...
it's Matt, right? Daniel, go over there.
Yeah, you're against Matt. So, and then, okay, so then we have Dylan and Daniel left. So, Dylan and Daniel, do you guys, Dylan, do you want me to switch with you, and because I'm an ADC main, or do you want to try to do it yourself?
I don't care either way. While we have you, you can do AD carry if you want, just
Sure.
since you're probably gonna be a little better at freezing it in the first place.
It helps me, I mean, to play, it kind of actually helps me know what's going on with my lane. So,
Yeah, you're good.
Dylan, you can take notes on Kyle and Matt, because I didn't look at their lane last game at all.
I'm
So then,
gonna stay in the game though and just watch
I'm not
in
gonna
the game.
spectator.
Not because I'm 3 minutes behind, and I don't want to be 3 minutes.
Spectator puts you 3 minutes behind.
Yes.
Yeah, he can just sit in fountain. He won't stop.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dick around with anything. I'm just gonna watch.
Oh, okay. Wait, so you're in real time. I get it. Okay, yeah, that's smart, actually.
How about
Okay.
spectator in this, but in real time?
Okay, cool. So let's see, Daniel, and then let's go into his channel, and then good luck, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, my state.
Alrighty.
You love the Drake channel.
Yes, I honestly was just there, but I do I love all of our channels, man.
I hate it.
I love all of it. Because you be Jeffin. That's definitely the smartest one.
That's literally the one I created. The only one I created, so.
I didn't think I made that one. I was like, did I really make that one?
No, that's literally the
Okay.
only one I created.
I like Solomon because you wise as fuck right now. I like that one.
I think,
Are you King Solomon? Because you're just wise as fuck right now, man.
fucking stupid. I'm pretty sure literally today someone asked, Hammy asked to, no, it was Daniel. Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, you asked.
Why are they banning copy? I just want my fucking skin. Jesus.
want these same type of channels to be in the Hot Rod server, and if I was the leader of this Team Flow Esports, those would have been deleted a long time ago. The only
I know
reason...
you asked. I think you did delete them once. You're like, oh, I hated your channels. I deleted them. I'm like, nah, I'm vetoing that, bro. We're having the channels.
And I still haven't tried to delete it again, even though I've got the power to.
Yeah,
so,
Alright, so I'm supporting, right?
Yes.
Okay,
You
so
can
would it
pick
be
whatever
more?
you want.
Would it? I generally play like when I play support like Blitzcrank, Leona, or Morgana generally.
More. I mean, Morgana would give us the most options. If we get in a bind and we need to slow push for whatever reason, then we could use Morgana Pool to help.
Okay.
So yeah, that works.
So
But if you
our goal is to freeze, right?
Our goal is to freeze as much as possible.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk you through what I want you to do.
Okay.
If I'm not telling you anything, then don't hit minions, don't do anything, and then if I tell you to hit the wave, then hit the wave.
Okay.
And then if it doesn't make sense to you, it's okay. I'll explain it. We'll have another debrief at the end of this, a shorter one. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Am I going top lane or mid?
Go top.
Okay, yeah. Hover your picks. I'm gonna use Russia.
Go top, Matt.
That did answer. Yeah, deity.
Kyle, you're going top lane, so Matt is in, his normal lane
Oh,
he
I'm playing
plays.
top lane. That simplifies things.
Yeah, I told Kyle to go top lane, so he knows what he's doing.
Okay.
Is he seriously gonna fucking pick Quinn, that piece of shit?
I have not played the new Volibear. Yeah, it has a weird icon, though.
Oh, pick Teemo, you pussy ass bitch. Pick Teemo. Pick Teemo. I fucking hate Quinn, dude. Ugh.
That's gonna be really hard for you to freeze, too.
Am I supposed to freeze? I was just gonna play.
Yeah, we're supposed to freeze.
Yeah, we're supposed to freeze.
Should have played maybe.
Pretty sure Drake went to the bathroom without choosing his champion. You might have a chance to choose someone else, Matt.
You said I'm embarrassed. Oh, okay, there he is.
You guys need all armor, and it's a good game. What the? He still has his Flow clan tag. What a loser. Yeah. He's dissing on them in various ways and still has their clan tag. I need that as an emote. The SpongeBob, whatever guy going loser is the fucking call or whatever it was. It's been too long. We got this, boys. It's 4v3.
Yeah, what's this
Alright.
bullshit?
I'm back.
Hey, what? You're talking all the shit about Flow, but you still have their clan tag on.
I try. Dude, I haven't even like barely played.
I told you if you ever want to play at least a few games, I'll duo with you. I'm sure me and you could go pretty far as a duo.
I mean, yeah, we could do that sometime. But I'm totally like a casual player.
Oh yeah, I assume. Yeah, you don't see me playing games either.
Yeah, I just don't like League of Legends anymore. Like I like it. It's fun. Like I've always really enjoyed it, but I don't appreciate how Riot changes the game.
Yeah.
And I don't like how they change the game often, and I don't like what they change. And I felt at some point I realized, I was really grinding to like be good, and then I realized like, dude, they change the game so often that I can get good at it, but then like it's gonna change, and then I'm not gonna be good at it anymore. And, like,
yeah,
I
you
wanna
have to be
ever
good at
be
being
this game.
dynamic.
Yeah, I have to like practice every single patch. Like if I like take a break. Oh no. Oh, okay. It's okay. Yeah.
I'm okay.
No, you're not. Wow, look at that.
Oh, wait. Okay. Wait. First of all, wait, Dylan, are we in the same chat? Oh, never mind. You're not playing.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
Okay. Well, anyhow, Pike flashed and
Yeah,
ignited
and
you,
ignited,
so
yeah.
that's, that's something. Whatever. Okay. Not worth it, but okay. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. I'll focus on the game. Never mind what I was saying earlier. Good luck, guys. So yeah, they're gonna be in the lane with us, so I'm gonna like tentatively look for pushing. So just be ready with me. Pike
Okay.
is very likely to try to hook me from the bush. If you can, it would probably be useful to get in front of me. Actually, you know what? It's not gonna matter. We're just gonna keep them from taking it, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So don't hit the wave.
Yeah.
We're just gonna wait for them to push it. Yeah, it's pushing towards us. This is good. They're gonna get level 2 first. It's ambiguous. Okay. Yeah, they. Okay. Be careful about using your W to poke with them, because if it does damage to the wave, it could mess things up. But so far we are
All right.
golden.
Okay.
Freezing perfectly well.
I hate this fucking game.
Okay, so W the wave and help me thin it. Okay, actually you're gonna let it. It's fine where it is. So I didn't thin it enough. That was the issue. Good auto. It's set to slow push, so I'm just gonna do as little damage as possible.
I'm just throwing out that they know your goal this time, so you're having to
Yeah,
be
I
a
know.
little more creative.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really guessing that they're just gonna mess it up though. They might not.
Or you get a big wave into their tower, and that's also not the worst thing in the world either. With
Yeah,
the long
I'm just
slow
gonna.
push.
So I don't need your help, Daniel, but I'm just gonna. Okay. Damn it. Yeah. So we're just gonna like push this as fast as we can. So
Okay.
W the wave.
Probably should have told Kyle to play a little bit more of a traditional top laner.
Okay. So they're so low, I'm not going to let them tank it, because they're trying to tank it, and they're not going to be successful.
Okay.
So now the wave is going to slow push towards us. Keep your mana pool up. I might need you to have it to push later.
Okay.
The wave is set to slow push on our side, which is great.
Don't I want to fucking push this wave in though, as a melee into range?
I have no idea. I can't look at your wave. Okay, Ezreal.
Right now,
focus.
it's set in order to push into you.
Well, I'm
That's-
just saying in general, don't you want to like... Isn't the correct move to, when you're playing melee into range, push the waves, so you have to choose between harassing or CSing?
If you can, as long as you're not getting your health poked down during the entire thing, and you're, if you can push safely, yeah, it's going to be a good decision. But yeah, if you're melee into range, it's probably going to be very hard to freeze, unless if you already have like that kill advantage early on Quinn, which you do not.
Fuck.
So yeah, it's gonna be a little difficult. We're not super successful so far.
Okay, so we keep the wave here?
Yeah. It's likely, like, it's set to slow push towards them, but, I might be, I'm just gonna push it now. Yeah, perfect, good W.
You know, another thing might have been good to talk about. We still can, but another way to,
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
Good.
Another way to slow, or to freeze, is to collect a big wave by slow pushing and then freeze on the way back. Which is another good thing to do.
Are we gonna push this or keep it?
Well, it's a huge surplus. It's gonna slowly crash. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this now. Yeah, yep. Got the right idea. Good. So we fucked his health up, and it's still gonna slow push towards us. So we're good.
Okay.
Ooh. And who said that rune was useless?
So don't attack the minions. It's very delicate right now. Yeah, he's might try.
Oh my fucking god.
It's very precarious. Just don't do any damage.
Oh,
to the
yeah,
wave.
sorry.
Okay. So it's
We have 6 and they have 5.
they have 6. We have 7. It's probably pushing towards us, but it's
Oh, I was talking about levels, but okay.
okay. Okay. Just let the wave push. Yep, we don't need to go and do theatrical killing them. Whatever.
Okay.
Just be ready to black shield me. Yeah, it's definitely pushing towards us now. We're gonna have to begin to thin it out, though. Shield yourself if you have to. Oh, sorry.
No, that's my bad. I didn't know. There goes the.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Well, this has been difficult to freeze.
No one said it was easy.
Yeah, this has been really barely frozen this game.
Well, again, they did have the idea the entire game that this is what you wanted to do. Whereas in, like, solo queue, that's not through too many people's minds early levels. Or early ELO.
Yeah, see, I'm doing something wrong at this stage. I guess I'm just supposed to push. I'm gonna try this one more time. And it really has to get into their tower. But that's what's happening. Yeah, I'm not sure precisely what's going wrong, but let's push it as fast as we can.
What the fuck?
Okay. So this is good. Alright, so leave the minions alone. It'll be fine. It's gonna be precarious. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely something slow push. Nice. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay, focus Ezreal. Focus Ezreal.
I can't really.
Yeah, that's okay. He was far. He was playing it well. I just knew if we wanted to get out of that alive, we'd have to focus the ADC.
I can't.
Not bad. I had no idea. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, it's 12 minutes, so I think it's a good time to probably wrap it here. But yeah, that was quite unsuccessful from my perspective. We hardly ever had the wave on our side, and I actually like the fact that they roamed because they really punished us there for our poor wave management. So that's a good case study there. So all right, let's just have them jump in here. All right, what's up, everybody?
Left.
I'll look it over.
Damn it.
Okay, so yeah, good job, Chris and Hammy. That was quite good. I really had a lot of trouble freezing, and I'm actually not entirely sure where it went wrong. I have some theories.
I
but...
think like in your defense, since we knew what you were trying to do, it
Yeah.
was like kind of
yeah, that's fine.
easy.
But that's so as you climb, like people are gonna become more aware of this, and there's a way to do it even if your opponent is trying not to. You know, there's like kind of like what we talked about with Daniel, like when Daniel was pushed in, but he was trying to like. Wait, was Daniel trying to? No. Daniel was not.
I was trying to break the
freeze.
freeze.
He was trying to break the freeze.
Yeah, but anyway, like there's always like a little checklist of things that you can do to try to disallow the enemy from
counterplay the
thwarting you.
counterplay.
Yeah, you counterplay the counterplay, and I was unable to do that. So I'm rusty with League, and you guys did a really good job of not like messing up the lane. I think so. I can recall the first wave. So the reason why we weren't freezing to begin with is because I hadn't thinned the wave fast enough. So by the time your third minion wave, which was a cannon wave, came, it just like blew past my minions there and crashed into tower. So you guys did a good job of making sure I wasn't able to freeze there by just dealing enough damage to the wave. And then after that, it gets more complicated. But yeah, anyhow, enough about me. So I guess we'll start this time with Dylan. So you had some notes for them. You were watching Matt and Kyle. So try to do what I did and don't give them the answer, but like see if you can guide them with questions to a new kind of thought process.
Holy shit, he's coaching the coach on how to coach.
Coaching the coach on how to coach.
Right?
Now I'm gonna throw this out there at the beginning. That I was actually watching both lanes, probably more 50-50. I don't fully have anything down, but I do have a couple for Matt. What do you think was so hard about that lane 2 freeze against the Quinn?
I don't think the right move is to freeze that lane.
Well, what makes it
Yeah.
Why would you think that would be the wrong move in that matchup of Renekton versus Quinn?
Because if you shove the lane, I could out-shove him very easily, and then he's gonna have to choose between either taking CS or harassing.
Mm-hmm.
If he chooses to harass, I can just back off. The wave's shoved, and I'm in a fine spot waiting for him to reset it.
Well, from my perspective of watching that lane, like it's a hard time to freeze in the first place.
Well, hold on. Well, okay, I'm gonna just jump in here. So, Dylan asked, "Is it you know what makes it hard to freeze in a lane like that?" And then you commented that it's not the right thing to freeze.
I don't think
But-
it's the right thing to freeze because
Yeah.
if you play passive in that lane, he just has his way with you.
So
Nine times out
that's
of 10.
fine, and you might be right about that. But I guess to go a little deeper, then that doesn't explain why it's hard to freeze. So
Sure.
that
Because-
explains why it's bad to freeze. But what makes it difficult to actually get the minions to do what you want to freeze?
Because he's got like, if I don't force the lane to happen on my terms, like because it's a range versus melee, it's either it's 100% his way or closer to a 50-50. Because I sit back, I wait for it to freeze, I take the occasional CS, and it gives him the space to just do Quinn things, or melee versus range things. He's got a much easier time controlling the wave, and a much safer time as well.
Why does he have a safer and easier time controlling the wave? What is it about the range melee matchup that makes that happen?
Quinn specifically has got like 3 get out of jail free cards, but any more generic like range to the melee is just I have to walk into them, which gives them the chance to like harass me before starting a trade, and then I have to get out, which also gives them, they just have a bigger window to trade. So if I take the trade, it's probably not going to be favorable. If I don't take the trade, I'm opening myself up to harass.
Okay. So they have more wave control because they can hurt your health bar if you try to freeze. I'm not entirely sure how that explains why you should push though, because can't Quinn also do damage to you if you try to push?
Well, all right, but then I have
That's an
control of
honest
the
question,
wave.
by the way.
Yeah, no, but I have. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, Quinn has the choice between harassing me, or like freezing the wave, pushing the wave, CSing. If I am pushing the wave, the choice then becomes to harass me, giving me control of the wave. I'm gonna have rage built up, which allows me to get the Q sustain. Or
Okay.
she could match with what I'm doing to the wave by attacking the wave herself. She's never going to outpush a Renekton because I've got so much AoE that I can dump right into the wave.
So
So my logic is if I freeze, right, I'm sitting on the back foot, I'm trying to play around Crit Caster, so if she does harass me, she's drawing Caster or aggro. That's best case scenario. I move up to hit the melee minions when available. I'm probably going to get autoed because I'm giving her the space to do that. I can play around bushes maybe, but I think it's better to have them draw Caster aggro. Or I can force the engages to happen in the middle of the minion wave where I can CS, and then she's got to, where I get the sustain, and I can back out, and she's got to choose between either fighting me or taking the CS herself.
okay. So Kyle, what do you think about all this?
I don't know if that clarified
I
anything.
don't think there was a problem with his wave management. That plan itself is sound. It's just like execution was not too good. Like level 1, you were really like it seemed like you really wanted to trade with me, and you allowed me to auto you down, whittle you down, right?
Yeah.
And then we are both lane bullies, right? You're Renekton, I'm Quinn. We both are lane bullies. I'm watching for your E and your stun, right? You should be watching for my E. Once my E is down, I'm immobile. You can actually just kill me. Even if I Q you, if I don't have E up, right, I'm just fucked because you can just combo me. But like every single time you went for an engage, you just kind of dumped everything and allowed me to E out. Like there's a few times where you E'd in, you stunned me, but as the stun went through,
I don't know if you were doing this intentionally, but you cucked my second E, my dice, 3 fucking
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I actually waited out your E so that you would not be able to gap close. Because like I'm in.
No,
80,
like
I'm
not
in-
the. So it's slice and dice. Slice is the one that I used to get in.
Yeah, the
I could
dice.
get in,
The second
and then in the middle of the dice channel out is when I got the fucking boot to the
Oh.
face.
I
Yeah.
was trying to catch you when you eat in, get out range, so I can just get some free damage. Now you're immobile, right? You have no damage, and I can just unload my kit on you without fear, basically.
I mean, I was
If you
trying
wanna-
to
Yeah.
get behind you, which I think I did successfully.
You
like,
did
once,
once,
or twice,
actually. Yeah, it
but-
was really good at like 5 minutes or so or something, right? You actually got behind me. You made me E toward your tower. Now I'm trapped. You forced my flash.
Yeah, but your
At
blind
that point, I
sucks.
said in all chat, well played, right? I meant it. Like, that was really well played on you. But I felt like it was too late at that point. The level 1 fight where you only had your Q, like, I had my E. I win that fight, right? Because I have the gap closer. I have the safety tool. I can auto you down and use E if you try to flash Q me, right? Once we hit the level 2, level 3 power spike, level 3 power spike, you will beat me, right? Because level 3, I get my W now. Sure, it enhances my passive, but like, you have your full combo. You can actually, if I try to step up for a minion, you can punish me for it, right? But like, I feel like what you should have done, you should have just given up the first wave. Just let me farm, right? And then it'll slowly push to your side. Like, if you don't like show yourself in the first wave, just stand by your tower, just soak up XP, no gold, right? That would force me to think, okay, do I want to also give up 6 minions, right? Or do I want to push it, get these like 3 minions, slow push it toward you, right? And once it starts slow pushing, now you're right next to your tower. I cannot trade as easily. If I go in for a trade or you go in for a trade, your tower is right there. You can just flash back or even just E back to safety, and I can't really do much, right? And then also like minimizing the amount of time you're in my auto attack range to reduce that danger zone. I don't know if that's the right term, but like you go in, you auto the minion, you're in the danger. Every time you went to auto a minion, I autoed you like once or twice. I think you noticed that. Yeah, like that was my game plan to whittle you down that way. But like if you did that and then like you auto the minion, if you backed off immediately, just get out of there, get out of the danger zone. Right now I have to choose minion or poke, minion or poke, right? And usually I would probably choose minion because wave management is important for top lane, right? Basics. And then on first back, if you backed, got a cull or got some lifesteal even, or even just a Tiamat, I think it might have helped you a lot.
Bro, if I had the gold for that.
Yeah, but like sometimes giving up minions will actually help you get more minions in the long run. And I think you probably should have given up on that first wave instead of going to the middle of the wave and trying to contest it.
I was thinking Russian level 2, but I don't know, that probably wasn't the right call.
Quinn has a level 2 power spike with my EQ. I can proc PTA like instantly, you know? Auto E, auto Q, auto. That's 2 passive procs on PTA. Hurts a shit ton. Yeah. So like, I'm stronger at level 2, but you win level 3. Probably should have let me push in, wait for that level 3 power spike. Just giving up your level 2 power spike completely. Yeah, I think that's about it.
This is why I don't play top lanes, because it's a lot of matchup specific things like that. It really is.
Yeah, well, one mistake can cut you hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. That's why we have junglers.
That's why I don't play top lane either.
So I would be tempted to fact check all these, you know, all of these theories if I knew anything about them, and I don't.
Oh, dude,
so,
I'm a fucking silver scrub. I'm probably wrong, but that's the thought process I go
so
into it with.
okay, okay. First of all, this is a learnable experience because at this point, I think it sounds like you guys both have a lot to say about this matchup, and it feels like both of you had a good, deliberate idea. So what I appreciate about both of your plans were that they were very deliberate. You guys didn't just like go in there and like do some random shit and whatever, right? You like weren't autopiloting. Like it seems like you remembered a lot about the game, and so you were paying attention and you had like a clear game plan. So that's good. Now the next best thing is to go and look at a Quinn versus Renekton matchup in high elo and see what they actually do, and then see if what you did was different, and then you can gauge from there like why they did that, like what was good about it, what was bad about it. You can take some notes. So that's what I would do in these situations when you're talking about matchups. Now it might be hard to find that kind of matchup. I don't know how often people play Quinn, but you can probably find something somewhere, and you can do that by looking through op.gg. Probably best to look up Quinn on op.gg and then go through the different pro players that play her, and then look for a game where they played against Renekton as instead of vice versa, right? Because it'll be harder to find a Quinn game if you look for Renekton players. Anyway, that's the advice I'd give to you guys, because I don't actually have any answers there. But I can share my thoughts on this a little bit. So you guys, I would ask you questions and lead you to an answer, but again, I also don't know. So, if I were Renekton and I were playing into, you know, any kind of ranged matchup, I would opt to freeze for sure. And that's not to say that you're wrong, Matt, because I honestly, again, I don't know. But I would freeze for sure because ultimately I would just let her push. And eventually, like, she's gonna, and actually conversely, right, if I were playing Quinn, I have more options, because if I want to, I can actually push. I'm gonna have more wave control, because I can harass, like we talked about earlier. And with my extra wave control, I can push minions, I can do more damage, I can push you under tower, and then I can maybe harass you under tower, right? I can auto you as you try to last hit, I might be successful at that. I might not be super successful at that if the Renekton is playing super safe. But in either case, I'll be able to have lane priority, and then I can roam around the map. So I'm going to put wards in your jungle. I'm going to help get Rift Herald security. I might even roam when I get my level 6. Quinn is pretty good at that. Now, Quinn is particularly cheesy in that regard. And most champions, you won't have to worry quite as much about, like, the top laner roaming. But it's a legitimate concern, even if they were playing, Cassiopeia or whatever random set, maybe whatever. Like, they can still do good things with prio, right? So there's downsides to it, but I think if you try to push super hard, you open yourself up to more damage than if you just, like, get harassed under tower, and then Quinn can just end up freezing on you, and I don't think you want to be frozen against a ranged champion, because that just sounds like as bad as you getting hammered under tower, but even worse, because you also aren't getting minion experience. So if I were playing Renekton, I would just try to soak as much experience as I could, and the way that I would do that is by letting Quinn push into me, and then if I could even freeze, if she's not dealing enough damage to the wave or something, then, you can actually take that opportunity, which I was hoping you could try to see if you could do. But if she just pushes you under tower, like, that's okay. Like, you have to concede something. And I think it's better to lose tower plates and lose a couple minions than to be zoned off of the wave with her freezing on her side of the lane. That's just my idea of it, though.
I agree with a good amount of that, yeah.
Also, like, defensive itemization. That early cloth armor you got, like, I noticed the damage difference. I actually pinged it out, like, 6 times. I'm all like, fuck. Right? Because that means I can't actually kill you as easily. I have to trade with you, like, 3 times to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, now, I'm completely fine with playing, like, an unbelievable pussy in my game. So, like, if that means I get, like, 3 minions in 3 waves, like, I'm okay with that. If I keep my health bar alive and I'm not, like, inting, then
yeah, that's something I gotta do a lot better job of.
Yeah. I would, yeah.
This is also...
I was gonna say, like, Renekton or Pantheon, I'm waiting for that, like, point where no matter how well I do in the early game, I just drop off the face of the earth.
That's true. You have to consider that. But I don't know. In my experience, it's more worthwhile to just have solid, like, fundamentals and also just to not in. And I think that the role of counter matchups and scaling plays an outsized impact in people's minds, but I don't think it actually has that much impact on games. Like, at least at this elo. Like, if you're talking about Challenger, then, like, yeah, I think Pantheon will, like, drop off. But I think it like silver, gold, even plat. I think that scaling doesn't matter quite as much because your opponents don't know how to play the game really well anyway, and you can just exploit them even if you don't have a lot of damage. But I'm trailing off. I'm getting this. That's a whole nother discussion. So okay, Dylan, I'll hand it back to you.
I really, you've been amazing today with your lesson. You've been able to cover a lot of stuff in wave management that I would have never been able to cover myself. Definitely not a strong suit. So I hope the rest of my team really appreciate your time to spend the entire 3 hours working with us with wave management.
When's the next time Drake can come to practice?
Drake, that was one of my favorite practices ever. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thanks to everybody. I don't know, to answer your question, Daniel. Like, I will be in future practices. I won't always be leading it. Like, this was just to give you guys kind of an idea of like what drills are like. I think when when you guys have one-on-ones with me, and Hammy and Daniel, you can attest to this. Like, I talk about drills sometimes, right? Like, I think that it's really important to like do drills.
Yeah.
And unfortunately in League, you don't really get the opportunity to do drills in like a controlled environment like this, but you can go up on a normal game or on a Smurf account. I have a Smurf where I play ranked and I do drills, because the players tend to take it more seriously and don't pick like so troll bullshit and whatever. So you have a better time. They give you more of a challenge, and you do exactly like this kind of stuff. You just go in and you're like, I don't care if I lose my lane or like if I lose the game, like it doesn't matter to me. All I'm gonna do is try my damnedest to freeze. And if I try my damnedest to freeze and I can't, then something is wrong and I need to take a look at my gameplay or like whatever. Like there's a gap to fill, right? And that can do with anything. So it doesn't just have to do with wave management, but it could be like, I want to get all the last hits on the first 3 minion waves without, I don't know, taking too much damage. Like if I can get 19, or what is it, 19 minions by the first cannon wave, like then I'm good. Or I'm just trying to look at the map between every minion wave this game. Like I'm trying to look at the map like way more. And sometimes I do that, and, the results can be surprising. Like you can actually like really feel how much more you're looking at the map and how much it's impacting your gameplay. Like you'd think that most of the time your drills would end up with you sucking, and sometimes they do, but sometimes you pop off in those games. So anyway, I just think that like these kind of drills are where people actually get better at the game. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to come join one of these in the future. Maybe we can do something like this again. Most of the time, if I join a practice, it'll probably just be to shadow Dylan, and I won't really say anything. But yeah, I do want to share a couple of thoughts. I know it's late and we're wrapping up, so I'm just going to share a couple of thoughts on my lane. I sucked at freezing. I don't know what the hell went wrong. I'd have to go back and look to really know, but yeah,
Because
Chris
you're
and
too
Hammy,
hot.
you guys did a good job of keeping me from freezing, and it was difficult to counter. I think the general pattern of that lane to me seemed like allowing you guys to push without thinning the wave enough, and then you crash into my tower, and then after I cleared your minions, my minions were going to slow push, because that's what you do. After you crash a tower, it's just good for you guys to know this. If you crash a tower into the, or your wave into the enemy tower, and the reinforcing wave is on its way, that reinforcing wave is going to be held up for a bit. It's going to attack the minions that are still dying to the tower, and then it's not going to get as far into the lane. And the even minion rule is going to dictate that since it's on the side of the lane closest to your tower, it's going to start slow pushing to your enemy. So that's what Hammy and Chris did to me all game. And by the time I was able to get it to slow push back to me, you guys were able to zone me off, and I wasn't able to do enough damage to thin it properly, and you guys kept repeating that. So that happened like 3 times, and on the final time, you guys ganked me from top lane and whatever, and then I died. So that was a good game plan. You guys did that properly. And I think there's a way for me to counter it, but I'm not sure how, besides what I already mentioned. So that's just my thoughts on the wave. Any other closing?
We were just trying to do a 3-wave strategy in the bot lane for the first 3 waves, and then
like push to me, and then wait for it to slow push to you.
Yeah. So first wave you get minion prio. Second wave you go for level 2, and then you leave the casters alive, and then as soon as your 3rd wave gets there, you hard push the 3rd wave and crash a minion wave and a half.
Okay. I got it. Okay, I see. Okay, the 3-wave strategy in mid lane is something different. So I was confused there. In mid lane, I've heard the 3-wave strategy be described as pushing the first wave as hard as you can, leaving the second wave completely alone and just last hitting it, and then by the time the 3rd wave gets there in mid lane, it's going to be frozen on your side, so the cannon wave, and then you can get a gank. And you can actually do that at any point in the game. So where the cannon minion wave is the one that just died, you can do that. So that's just something we hadn't talked about. But okay, yeah, that was a good strategy and it worked. So good for you guys. Alrighty then.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up with them for the next couple minutes. Drake, if you care, if I call you in about 5 minutes to go over today's lesson, I would appreciate if you have just a little bit more time. I know.
Yeah.
We've pulled...
I'll just have to. I have a hard limit at midnight, but yeah. That's
yeah, I won't go that long. But yep, I'll give you a call in a few minutes.
Cool.
All right.
Drake.
Yep.
Oh, is he not leaving?
Am I leaving now or what?
Yeah, if you can give a couple minutes.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, take care, guys. It was a fun practice. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
It was fun. Bye.
Yeah, see ya. So, I absolutely again appreciate Drake.
Wait, we're still Jeffin out here. Are we?
Yeah, we're fine. We can. Drake deserves the Jeffin for the rest of the 2 minutes of practice today. Anyways. We are going to be wrapping up soon. I wasn't expecting it to last this long, but Drake did a really good job for the practice tonight. It sounds like overall you guys really enjoyed it.
No, I was just lying to make him feel good.
Oh, were you? You really hate it? No. This would be an awesome practice for you guys to go into that links at the very top, that form available for you guys to give me feedback on this practice. This would be a really good one for you guys to actually fill out that form and give the feedback as to how you think Drake overall went into this practice. And there's some stuff I learned as well, even non League of Legends related with this practice too, that I still need to work on myself. With you guys, I tend to give you guys the answers too much before trying to drag them out of you guys. That was
going to be the main thing I wrote about. Okay,
yeah, I caught on to that as well, and I've seen it before. It's just not my strong suit. I have a personality of helping people, and I default to helping too much at times, and I need to give you guys more space to explain it to me before I jump in. Another thing I got, my mom was always bad at, she was terrible at entering into conversations at the right time, saying her bit of the conversation. I've always had the same thing, so I have to really bite my tongue. And sometimes when I want to say something, when I shouldn't, I should let you guys keep conversating. Anyways, I'm going to be trying to do some of my future practices similarly to how Drake did it. I'm never going to be Drake, and nor should I ever be. Where we have different we have different coaching personalities clearly, but he does do some things better than I do, and that's the whole point of me being here in the first place, is to learn from him. So again, I really appreciate that. End of note things. We do have Clash Sunday. I'm wanting to do. Are any of you not able to make it this Sunday for Clash?
I'll be there.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday. What about Saturday?
Well, Saturday, you guys are more than free joining together yourself. On Saturday is the get-together for gaming for this channel, and I don't want to... I do it the last Saturday every month, so I don't want to do the whole thing for that and then go into a full Clash tournament. So you guys are more than fine. I'd encourage it actually for you guys to get together and do Clash on Saturday, but I do want Sunday to be the orchestrated one where I'm going to join you guys and we'll go over stuff. So, wrap it up. Try to put something in that form. There's got to be some good feedback you can give on either side of things. Clash this Sunday. Saturday, if you want to join us for random games, I think I'll be starting that at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here for the night? About practice or
Borderlands is free on the Epic Store.
Oh?
Yeah.
One or two?
All
Yes.
three, right?
all three.
God, what the
The
fuck?
prequels.
It's great information. Yes, I hope you guys jump on that. All right, well,
Yeah, you're welcome.
thank you. All right, we'll cut it here for tonight. I'll see you guys either Saturday or Sunday. All right,
Bye, my son.
your son. See you guys.
Oh boy.
So, really good practice from Drake tonight. Really enjoyed his help. He ran a fantastic practice and was able to answer a lot of their questions. I have someone to look up to in order to get better at coaching myself, but that is always a work in progress on this channel. I'm going to get off here. Game night's going to be on Saturday, I think at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be starting that with having you guys join us to play whatever League of Legends games we want, or even switch to something else if we would like. Around that, I will see you on Saturday or our Clash tournament this Sunday. Thanks for joining. Bye.